If you would keep me waiting, I would wait a lifetime. In tricky situations, I will be a lifeline. Nobody's meant to be fighting alone. That's why I'm taking you home. I never felt something like this before, no. Keep coming back for you time after time. Maybe I'm losing my mind, but I know I'll never leave you behind, no. Baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the hoops, yeah, baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the hoops, yeah, baby, I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. Baby, I got you. I got you. I got you. Ocean in between us, still I feel your heartbeat. There's something about you, baby, that makes me feel complete. Nobody's meant to be fighting alone. That's why I'm taking you home. I never felt something like this before, no. Keep coming back for you time after time. Maybe I'm losing my mind, but I know I'll never leave you behind, no. Baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the hoops, yeah, baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the hoops, yeah, baby I got you. I got you. I got you. I got, baby I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you.
From the legends of memory and storage, Crucial brings you the ultimate performance in gaming. Legendary products, precision engineered for speed and stability. Crucial Ballistics.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Esports Club Valorant Community Cup presented by LG Ultragear, powered by Intel and Crucial with our broadcast partner Loco. I'm CCV, joined alongside Universe, and today, we're nearing the end of this Community Cup. We had hundreds of teams registering in the open brackets in the qualifiers. Now we are down to just mere single-digit numbers, and out of those teams today, we'll be deciding our first grand finalist, and one of the teams will be taking an exit from this Community Cup as well. So there is a lot of action planned today. We have two different best of threes, so make sure you free up your entire day because it's going to be a banger. And for that very reason, Universe, we already know how the matches are going to be. How are you prepared for them, and how are you feeling?
Oh, forgive me. Sorry about that. Well, I am right here. And as I was saying, that this is probably the most exciting matchup out of what we've seen so far. Lethal versus Metal was something that we thought was going to be around the same level, but Lethal completely drew out of that, clear-cut victory for them. But this, I think, is where Lethal are going to showcase whether or not they can challenge the big leagues. They've been a team for quite a while now. They've been a little dormant. They haven't really found their true calling. With the players that they have, they should be getting themselves at least to the top of the region, at least if not to the very top. They should be among the top 5 to top 6 teams with the players that they have, at least, because brilliant set of
Absolutely.
players. And yeah, against Revenant, if they're able to pull off this victory today, I'm going to be really impressed. I'm going to be really rooting for what Lethal, have done, because so far their journey has been pretty great. And I will go ahead to make the speculation that if this goes to a third map, Lethal has a much, much better chance, I believe. But if it's anything to say about this team that's opposing them, Revenant, is that they are quite a big team. We all know that these are the juggernauts of our region. They come in the same line as Velocity, Global Esports, and Enigma as well. So yeah, this is going to be an uphill task, but Lethal have got the right tools to make this work. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm just waiting to see the good amount of Valorant that's coming. That's going to be coming out of these two teams.
True, true. I mean, yeah, I have to agree with you. So far in the Community Cup, both of these teams, they have been undefeated. The thing is, one of them will have to suffer a loss. Now, the good thing for them is, by suffering the loss, they'll be going into the lower bracket finals, which means they still have a chance of, keeping their hopes alive, trying to get into the grand finale. And for that very reason, there is that safety net, but both the teams, they will give it their 100% because it's going to be a battle for glory as well. So far, for the tournament favorites, according to many people, have been Revenant, but at the same time Lethal have had this amazing streak, and this is their proving grounds. And where exactly will they be proving their mettle? It's going to be on 3 different maps, starting off, chosen by Revenant Esports. It is going to be the map of Split. Now, this map choice makes a lot of sense. So far, almost all of the matches that we have seen from the side of Revenant in the main event here at the Community Cup, in the qualifiers as well, they have taken place on Split, and every single time Revenant have managed to take the win there. They won against Only Friends, they won against Paradise Esports, they won against Shilcord in the qualifiers. All of those victories took place on this map, so it makes 100% sense why they have chosen the map of Split. For Lethal Esports, most recently when we saw them, against most recently when we saw them against Medal, they end up winning on the map of Fracture, so it makes sense why they have chosen that map. And yeah, the best of 3, the maps make a lot of sense, and the brackets as well, they also make a lot of sense with how both of these teams have been playing.
Yeah, well, you talk about the map pool. There's, a lot of people must be wondering why Split is probably there. That's because this tournament started in the previous patch, and it is going to continue to finish with what was already there in the previous patch. Of course, Split is not going to, get out of the map pool, at least for the next 4 matches that we have, including this one, only for this tournament though. And yeah, Revenant, them making the best use of the one map that they know they can do the most damage on, is something that they will
Exactly.
never shy away from. And Lethal, I do believe that Fracture is a pretty good map for them. They have shown, pretty much time and time again that they faced off against other teams that they can take Fracture pretty convincingly. It was evident against Prime 5 as well as Middle. And the fact that Lethal are getting away with that, a little bit surprising that Revenant have let it come through, right? So I'm just worried about how exactly it's going to work out for the side of Revenant. But hey, let's get to that later. Let's talk about the head-to-head here. We've got 2 of the spearheads of the team who can play the chambers, who can play the jets of their team. Sensei and Knight Rider on a head-to-head are pretty close on the MVP standings as well. I think Sensei is on the 3rd and Knight Rider is on the 4th. And if you look at the kills, they've got not much difference between them. Knight Rider has been a little bit more, safer in terms of his play. He's been 80 and 40. That's quite a good ratio. He's basically a 2 KD ratio there. And Sensei's not that close to it, but it's good enough. They've been doing quite a lot of work.
Exactly.
But if you look at impact, in the last 2 best of 3s that both of these teams have played, both of them have had a pretty up and down kind of situation. For example, in the first game against Prime 5, Sensei had a great first map. Second map, not so great. Same thing happened again against Medal. First map, amazing. Second map, had to struggle for a couple of rounds, and then he kind of found his form coming into the second map.
Yeah.
That's kind of been his, like, up and down scenario. Whereas Knight Rider, he's had something similar, except that his first map usually doesn't go that well, and second map this guy picks it up. Even though that's the case, Knight Rider still has a little bit more impact for his team when it comes to his opping skills, right? Because Sensei, while he is an out and out, duelist player, he's got a pretty good sense of how to play that operator. I would say that Knight Rider is the better operator player because his pure aim is focused on that. Whereas Sensei is a little bit more versatile. He takes duels going up in front. He is the one who charges in as a duelist. That's kind of why he has the more deaths for himself, because he creates the space, gets the one kill, dies away. He's created space. That's all he needs to do. Whereas Knight Rider plays that chamber, allows other people to take up that duelist role, who will make the space, and he holds on not only to the back lines, but on the defense, he's the first one to take the peak and snap away to safety. So the duel between these two is going to be very interesting, and we will be looking forward to it. 3 very great maps, ladies and gentlemen, that are coming our way. We've got Split, we've got Fracture. We will be heading into Split first. And like I said, while Split is Revenant's strength, I want to see what Lethal come up with. And talking about Lethal, let's go and find out what they've got in store for us. We've got Android on the Raze, which is usually not the case, because the last time they played Split, I remember Android picking up the Neon, and that was pretty amazing. I think that the Neon, Android's really good on the Neon. He does, quite a bit of a number on it. Revenant have Paradox who plays on that Neon, and I would love to see that Neon battle between these two. But seems like we have a Sage, a Sky, and of course an Omen and a Chamber. And on the other side of things, Logi would prefer that Astra. He has been rocking it across the tournament.
Yeah. On Split, again, it depends. You can go for the Omen, you can go for the Astra. It's really not that big of a deal. I mean, even after the nerfs that Astra has received, she still gets a certain amount of market share to this day. And keeping that in mind, I think Logista may go for that pick. Right now, though, the Battle of the Chambers will be on Marzel against Knight Rider. But I truly believe once we head into Fracture, it's going to be, Battle of the Chambers between Knight Rider and Sensei. That's what my inkling goes for, because the last time we saw Lethal on Fracture against Medal Esports, it was Sensei who picked up that agent. So yeah, for both of those players, as we saw in the head-to-head, consistency will be key, not just in their kills, but in their performance, how they play as an anchor. And we've got our compositions locked and loaded. Neon, once again, will be chosen by Paradox. The Breach is going to be present as well. And keeping that in mind, yeah, from the side of Revenant Esports, they are not changing anything on the map of Split. I talked about how we have seen Revenant here in the Community Cup 3 times before on this very map. Every single time they have taken a win. On Split, so far, Revenant have been undefeated, and they're like, hey, if it isn't broke, why fix it? They're not changing anything. Yep. They're like, our strategies, our theories, the foundation is solid, and we do not believe Lethal have the capability to overtake us or to, destroy us on this map. We don't want to change anything. We will keep as is. And the task now is on the members of Lethal Esports to disprove that theory and to be like if we defeat you guys on Split, on Fracture, it's going to get a whole lot easier for us. Because let's be honest, right now, as both of us talked about Universe, in the map veto, for a very specific reason, the 2 maps have been chosen. Both the teams are playing for their own strengths. They're not necessarily playing on their opponent's weaknesses. Keeping that in mind, I think everyone can predict Split should go the way of Revenant, and then Fracture should go the way of Lethal, and we should be going into the map of Bind kind of with an unpredictable factor as who exactly is going to take the win. However, if we do see an upset, more likely than not, the team will be securing a 2-0 victory, whichever team gets the upset in their favor. But let's start off. The pistol round is right here already. We are seeing a barrage of utility be thrown out on many of fronts, on the A side, mid, on B as well. And here's the take from Revenant. Oh, they were looking, they were eyeing on the B bomb side, but they back off and they're just waiting. This time, maybe, for Lethal to make a move.
Well, here we go. Towards mid, they have sent Paradox, and he's going to get himself a little bit of room to work with. But he drops down to Lucia, who does not connect that. But he does give him quite a bit of damage. That's 90 hit. He's down to 10 HP now, and Paradox needs to be the one guy who can distract the opponents while the rest of them maybe work on the back of it. Logi gonna put up a smoke to secure him some space. No, it's gonna be a pull actually towards Heaven as Paradox moves in closer. But Lethal, they're all huddling up towards the back of site and towards Spawn, and Blackhawk taking out Marzel. Logi to add up on that, and Android only one to find a kill, but it is gonna be Revenant to find the round. 3 of their players were tagged down to less than 25 HP. And that was, a problem that could have been solved by just one player maybe capitalizing on that. Didn't come through, but that's okay. Lethal know how Revenant are playing at the moment. They've changed their game style a little, it seems, at least in the first round. It did seem a little evident. They slowed it up a bit. They didn't let Paradox go immediately towards that mid-Vents region, which he usually does. But yeah, let's figure it out as the time comes. If or not, it's going to work out.
Alright, well, for this round, looks to be working pretty well in the favor of Revenant. Already, Night Riders managed to get the opening kill. Paradox goes towards Vents. And yeah, it's the anti-eco round. Lethal Esports have made no buys whatsoever. They want to save up their credits. They want to save up for round number 3, where they themselves can invest in Vandals and Phantoms and whatnot. And oh, Paradox! Oh, Jesus! Missed a lot of shots. Blackhawk also fell into the same pit, but he managed to recover, probably because he had that automatic Spectre right there. So only one casualty so far since he managed to eliminate one player, and that will be that. In the first round, Revenant were down 1 man. They end up securing the round. This one follows the same suit. It's going to be a 4-man victory in both the rounds, but this is where Revenant and for the entire squad, things will get difficult. Lethal Esports, they're finally back into the game. Sure, they may have lost the pistol, but that doesn't necessarily mean that, it's going to be a bad defense from their side. They've got better guns, more accurate and more reliable guns in their hands. Utility is going to be far more equal and far more abundant in number. Like, all of the defenders can go for more utility. So Lethal Esports, this really is the round they should be looking to win out, because otherwise they may be in economic trouble if they lose their rifles as well.
Lucia already being tagged half HP low, and Mars is able to secure the kill on Knight Rider, and that's a weapon drop. Vandal that is. While Lucia will get the heal available thanks to the double healing squad that he's got in both Sensei and this guy that is Rafa. Lethal currently with the advantage, lay a little low. Resistance coming the way. Lucia looking for a kill, but he's been too stunned to speak. Oh shoot. Rafa's gonna find one, and Sensei at that range able to get another kill as the only man left is Logi, and he has the world against him. 2 stars available to play. Puts one down towards Spawn. Both of them actually. Maybe one to smoke it off and one to maybe bait out the other. But the fact that he doesn't know is that the other player is coming on the flank, and Marzel is very close on just securing this round within a second. But Logi is actually playing this really well. He's sitting in the smoke, and that could be a possibility that they expect. Yep, they know that he's towards Spawn now. Logi walks out, does not expect Marzel to be on site. Number 1 for Lethal up.
Alright, good retrieval of the round from the members of Lethal Esports. It was that 2 versus 2 scenario, but Android isolating this gunfight against Paradox meant a lot. Because now that the Neon was gone, yeah, Logista eventually was completely all by himself. And he had the bomb site to his availability, but the problem was he couldn't really plant the spike because the danger was looming right above his head. He needed to find a defender, and the defenders were like, you're not gonna find us. We are going to be sneaky. We are going to be extremely slow and methodical. Marzel as well, went all the way around the back, came from the garage, didn't want himself to be spotted in any way whatsoever from Heavens. So they played it smart, and Lethal Esports, well on their way. They took the round win. Problem was, it did cost them a little bit. It costed them 3 of the rifles, so Revenant will still be happy with the damage they dealt. And now that we're nearing a full buy versus full buy, with ultimates just being around the corner, credits start to mean a lot more for all 10 of the players. But otherwise, strategically, let's focus on what Revenant are doing. And their plan is still the same. Let's have a look at Paradox. The Neon still inside of Vents on that same box that he always does, infiltrates. And Lethal Esports, they're not, they're not fighting it again Meanwhile,
down, mid.
towards B Heavens, Sensei gets a triple kill with the judge, one of them being a headshot, drops the spike, and this forces Paradox to
One
take the
enemy
engagement.
remaining.
He pushes, even he falls down. The Phantom of Rafa and Revenant Esports have completely fallen apart towards mid. They cleared out wins, but they were like, we have to push on B Heaven, and that's where they were denied entirely. A flawless round win for Lethal Esports.
Well, that was a convincing round. Sensei was able to shut them down towards mid with that judge getting a triple kill for himself. As successively they put up 2 rounds, and that's exactly what was required. Revenant down to just pistols now, and Lethal are ready. They've got what it takes to put it on the board. And for the moment, Lethal have got a lot of support towards the B side, and Lucy has found 2. Wimp, he wants the ultimate off, but he will secure that ultimate regardless of whether he picks it up or not, because if he finds himself dead or finds a kill, that Rolling Thunder is going to be working in his favor. Rafa waiting for that bait to come through. He just wants the kill, and he will find the kill. That's the spike drop, and instantly you can see the rotations coming in from Sensei as well as Android. And while Paradox has gone through towards wins, skipping about his neon speed, he's going to find himself towards mid along with his teammate. But they've got nothing to play with, nothing to play for at all until they have that spike. They need to clear every single corner, and Rafa's ready to blow off a couple of steam here. Little bit of steam. Spots are both of them, I believe. And Hawk still holding down the ground. They're not really keen about getting that spike back right now. They just want a couple of exit frags. But Rafa is not going to allow that. And Paradox, the only one left, hoping that somebody comes in from the A side. But nope. Mazel is well and safe towards that B A side. And with that, Lethal take the lead.
All right. In the past couple of rounds, I've really been working out for the side of Lethal Esports. You know, they are ready for this, and they're completely well on their way. You know, move on forward and potentially take the lead, at least for the first half. As for the members of Revenant, well, yeah, again, you know, they've got the composition that can work out in both the instances. I mean, it's double initiator after all. But on attack, they should have a little bit of an advantage. And unfortunately for the side of Revenant, they haven't been able to capitalize completely off it just yet. Maybe now it gets different. Alman goes through. Paradox already pushing into the bomb side. Finds the opening of Android. Meanwhile, Blackhawk is still down. The spike has been dropped. And
Paradox
infiltrated all the way to defender spawn. He goes back to the A bomb side. He is still waiting for his teammates, but the teammates are still towards A main. And Rafa finds him. That's one. Can't land the shots onto Knight Rider. Everything comes to a grinding halt. The spike is still dropped. Revenant need to pick it up, but they're luring the members of Lethal Esports with the spike, and that's the exact trap Sensei fell into. Lucia, the only one surviving. And unfortunately for him, he's got 3 angry attackers in front of him, looking to neutralize the score, looking to take back what's theirs, the round count.
Oh boy, this is getting scary. Lucia's heaven. But Knight Rider, even with him being pretty damn low, he's causing all the damage he can with that tour de force. A forceful weapon indeed that finds him and his team. Round number 3. That puts them level. Revenant, brute force towards that A side, and Paradox is insanely fast. Rushes towards the opponent's spawn. Gets them the round. But Lethal will definitely have a little bit of resistance to that now. Towards mid. Oh, okay, Sensei. Going straight up for the fight here. That's alone that he's gone. A little too much for him, I believe. But look at Rafa. Rafa's come out with 1. Rafa could find second. No, he does not get covered though. Logi will shut him down as Blackhawk's gone down to 30 HP, and mid has become a region for quite a bit of chaos. Marzil was almost close to getting that kill onto Knight Rider, but Knight Rider decides differently as they move in back towards mid again. And it's a little bit of a risky move, I believe, for the side of Revenant, because what happened in mid so far will definitely cause the LE players to, try to establish the fact that they're still keeping control. And that's exactly why Knight Rider and Co. moving in towards mid has to be very, very meticulous. And they're doing that. They're doing just that. But Lucia, spots them out. Has a flash. Flashes both of them. He will push them off for a little longer. Smoke puts them off for a bit. No, it will not. Knight Rider comes through. And now it's on to Android. He needs this kill. And he will find it. There goes the ultimate. There goes the showstopper. And he hits straight to the face of Blackhawk. That grenade will stop Loki for a little longer, but unfortunately for him, his own cosmic divide is saving Android, and that's a blunder which throws him into the ground. Oh man, Android! What a brilliant play from him! A kill onto Knight Rider, a blinded one onto the KO. Yeah, and then hides behind his opponent's own ability to find himself the final kill of the round. A beautiful 4K from Android, held his ground and played that to perfection.
The fact that he was completely flashed and he still landed that showstopper and then went for that perfect showstopper play, the satchel play, with him getting pushed off into the corner. I think that was just pure instinct. I would love to watch that from his own perspective, if we can have a recording of that. But that was really good. Now in this round, Paradox looks to turn up the heat. He's got the ultimate. He pushes through the wall, pushes through the fragment, gets the opening kill. Lucia is still looming around in the bomb site, and the Neon is yet to realize that. But Lethal were yet to realize it was an A hit all along. Now though, the realization hits them, and so do the bullets. Or the members of Revenant Esports, actually, the bullets are hitting them with full force. Sensei is the only man alive, and alive he is by thin margins. That's it. That's the massacre. Revenant Esports, in very quick and rapid fashion, take their revenge of the previous round over the members of Lethal Esports. Really good hit. For a second, they had me fooled as well, but Paradox getting that opening kill, and then I saw the minimap and I was like, oh wait, the spike's on the A-bomb side, and I think the same realization hit Lethal Esports, but unfortunately it was too little, too late, and too few members on board for them to give any sort of rebuttal back to Revenant.
No, well, it's going neck and neck so far. They're not letting up on their blows, and they're evenly matched. This is exactly what we expected from both of these teams. Let's find out if or not these players of Lethal are going to be able to hit their blow back yet again. They do have a pretty good ultimate available on them to bring someone back from the dead. And Sensei has been shuffling it up with that judge towards mid. And he's got contention yet again. And even though that breach ultimate might come through from Wimp towards B Heaven, I still believe that that judge is going to be very, very menacing. Let's find out, though, if it works out in their favor. Towards mid, Wimp is ready. He does have 2 flashes as well, and they're very close to comfort here. 1 kill could settle this. That bait comes through, and Sensei is going to do the job, but only good for 1. Damages Blackhawk, but not for too much. He's down to 60 HP, and Lucia, perfect spot for him to be in right now, and they're not expecting this. Android supporting him from heaven above as well, and Lucia's just keeping himself alive, hale and healthy to get the clutch done. Finds only 1, and now it's on to Wimp to stop this push from coming in, but Android's still getting closer by the second. The plant will go down, no utility to stop it, but the bullets are more than enough. Now comes the grenade, and that should be enough to shut down Blackhawk, because Marzil will end him even if that grenade doesn't, and Lethal hit back again. 1-1, it's constantly that blow, CCV, that it's just going like that since the beginning, except for the first 2 rounds. It has been just 2-2, 3-3, 4-4. Now it might be 5-5.
I mean, really could be. Whenever Revenant Esports get knocked down a peg and Lethal Esports take the round advantage, Revenant reply back twofold with their flashy plays and whatnot. So keeping that in mind, it is going to be pretty interesting seeing exactly what happens.
Well, towards mid we are going. Yet again, Paradox ready with the jump in, but he needs to be careful. He should be expecting that judge, but he's way too quick for even Sensei to spot him. The ultra speed and slide of that Neon, far too quick for anybody to handle. That boombot not gonna touch. No, it will be destroyed, but that is for good measure to give Lethal that little bit of caution that we are here. Not going anywhere. Mazel expecting a push from E-main at the moment, where there is a player holding off, but very, very passively. Towards B heaven they go to that grenade. Just an inch of touch of a damage. But this split, yet again, they shifted up. Now Mazel, under pressure, needs to find a kill at the bare minimum, and he will get away as well. What spawn he's come. But Paradox is here, shifting things up for his team, and this smoke could be a problem, but no! Lucia's smoke kind of throws them off in themselves. Nightrider will find Mazel, he did not expect that, and now Lucia tries to walk into the site. He might just find the planter though. Not sure about this. Logi gets out of his position of plant. And he will go for the kill, but
10 seconds left.
loses his life. Teammates will support, and now it's on to Rafa. 1 versus 2. Knife does not reveal his position. They're unaware of where he could be, but Nightrider looks towards him, spots him out. He's going in for the kill here. Rafa could have sprayed both of them down, but only Nightrider suffers the damage, down to 5 HP. And Revenant put up 5 and 5 on the board. Nothing that we did not expect.
Yep. Once more for the side of Revenant Esports, they reply back, and this is it. This is the back and forth. I mean, at this point, you could well theorize the fact that it's going to be like a 6-6 half. The side swap is going to shake things up a lot, definitely. But this round is now going to be Lethal Esports' proudest moment. They are struggling economically. You can see their bike quite weak, a judge, frenzy, whatnot. They want to make the best use out of it. Revenant have to realize they can't go into close quarter combat slowed and flashed and dazed. The Sage Orb, slows down the Revenant members, but they're still going to push through. The utility dump happens, forcing Lethal Esports to swing wide. Lethal get 3 kills for the cost of 2 of their members. And again, Revenant fell into the trap of going into these close quarter gunfights. Now, the Spectre tried to do something, unfortunately can't. And from a distance, the judge is not as powerful as it would be in close quarter combat. The final man surviving is Mazel, all the way towards the A bomb site with only 5 HP. And he has to rotate all the way over. He's got a rifle. He has a Vandal in his hands. Maybe he opts to save it, but then again, after this round, it's going to be the final round of the first half anyways. Why bother saving when you can just spend all your credits in the hopes of potentially winning a round or taking away the guns and the lives of Revenant members? So, what's the decision going to be? Well, he is in the bomb site now. He checks the corner in 3, 2, 1. Alright.
Well, he might or might not have expected that, but the double peek in that little corner towards the back of B side always works, always. It's a trick that a lot of people use, and for good measure, of course. Lethal now. They are being pressured heavily towards that mid region, and it looks like Mazel wants to put a stop to it as he's got his ultimate out, but so does Nightrider. Sensei looking for that aggressive B wall. Should be working out for him. That is a good wall which they will break instantly. A lot of utility also gives him information that this should be a B split of sorts, but mid this time not being contested as such. They've held a very passive ground, expecting that the Lethal Esports boys are going to be trying to accommodate themselves towards this mid region, which is not at all false. And now it's on to Mazel. He's got one. He spots one, gets away just before the detain comes through. And Android's found one as well. There comes one more. The grenade out again, but it doesn't even need
Oh my
to burst up
God.
because Sensei will shut everybody else down. That's going to be Lethal winning a flawless in the final round of the first half, and nothing, ladies and gentlemen, to separate these two teams as of right now. And for, pretty great entertainment value as well, because as much as we love this game, as much as we want a team to win, this is the kind of Valorant that we were expecting from both of them.
True, true. This is it. I mean, for a reason, both of these teams are the two undefeated teams in the Community Cup so far. But the thing is, now statistically, on split, Revenant Esports have always been better on their defense. I mean, against Only Friends, they won 7 out of their 7 rounds on defense. Against Paradise, they won 6 out of the 7 rounds. Against, I think it was Chilcod as well. Revenant managed to win 9 out of 12 rounds on defense. So again, Revenant this time not off to the best of starts. Knight Rider took a very aggressive position towards B garage, ended up costing him his life before he could rendezvous back. And the other members of Revenant have to fall back. They've got no other choice. They try flooding into the bomb site, doesn't work. No kill goes in their favor. Lethal Esports total control all down to Blackhawk. No. Lethal Esports are not going to let this happen. They flooded the bomb site for a reason. They had all 5 members right here for a reason. It was to win all of their gunfights. It was to counter back the quick retake of Revenant, and it ended up working brilliantly.
Well, with Lethal Force, they get themselves into the B side, and it works out perfectly for them. Now, the one thing that they should be focusing on is yet again that mid-region, because that's where the side of Revenant are kind of thin on defense, except for the utility. 1 or 2 of those players can maybe hold it off, but not entirely, not like the Sage Wall can. And yet again, Android finding the kill onto Knight Rider. This time, even he cannot teleport away, and Paradox comes in to try and maybe get something different done, but towards mid they go again. Heaven cleared up by that Hound, as there is a resistance coming in from Paradox, but only for him to die. And now Lucia looking for that B main push, settles one settles the other.
Ooh.
No way he's gonna let that make him fall. And now we've got the last man standing. Blackhawk got a knife and a marshal. And a pretty big dream. How does he make this work?
And get an angle on the stage, yeah. Tag Sensei, but now he gives his location away, and everyone's going to be hunting him down on the stairs with the Marshal. Never a good choice. Marzel gets hit with a no-scope, but this still goes in his favor. Another flawless round win for Lethal Esports. I think in the match, this is like their 3rd flawless round win. So, yeah, I mean, in this round, though, you can't really fault Revenant entirely. It was a very, very weak buy of theirs. It was an eco, with the exception of a couple of upgrades here and there. They wanted to save their credits. Now, even though Lethal Esports, they have got 2 Sentinels. You know what? I have to say, they are working really heavily towards that attack, and it is working so far. Even with a Sage, even with a Chamber, their attacks are looking good. Now, we may see a change in that, because it is the likes of Revenant who are on to better guns. Knight Rider still very early in the round, gets stacked down to 30-35 HP, that is on the A bomb side, falls back once more, I think using the rendezvous. Knight Rider has to be careful. He doesn't give the early kill away, because he's not just someone who can take entry gunfights. He is the Chamber. He is an anchor in the bomb side, and his presence is needed. Again, look at that from Marzel. He is waiting, and there's no way for Knight Rider to be healed as well. There is no Sky, there is no Sage, unlike Lethal, so he has got to be very careful.
Yeah, Marzel's gotten away from the A side, and Knight Rider should have expected that. He heard him teleport away, but he thinks it might be a little bit of a fake. While Blackhawk has...
If you would keep me waiting, I would wait a lifetime. In tricky situations, I will be a lifeline. Nobody's meant to be fighting alone. That's why I'm taking you home. I never felt something like this before, I know. Keep coming back for your time after time. Maybe I'm losing my mind, but I know I'll never leave you behind, no. Baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the route, yeah, baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the route, yeah, baby, I got you. 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 Baby, I got you. I got you. I got you. Ocean in between us, still I feel your heartbeat. There's something about you, baby, that makes me feel complete. Nobody's meant to be fighting alone. That's why I'm taking you home. I never felt something like this before, I know. Keep coming back for your time after time. Maybe I'm losing my mind, but I know I'll never leave you behind, no. Baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby,
Valorant Community Cup powered by Intel and Crucial with our broadcast partner Loco. I'm C-Sweet John alongside Universe, and yes, all of you were watching the map of split. Unfortunately, at the production end, we had a couple of technical issues with our internet. Goes to show everyone can get tech issues, be it the players, be it the staff, administrators, or you, the viewer watching. It's South Asia. It is the way it is. But the good news is the match did not resume further after the very round where the issue happened. It was paused, and since then we have been at a pause. So the thing is that you guys haven't missed any of the action. We apologize for the unfortunate buffer that was there, but very, very soon, Universe, we can be jumping back into the game. And that's what really excites me, because the match was really at its hype. You know, it was at its peak, and very soon we will be continuing with that hype and seeing that which team will eventually take the map of split, because it's not as easy as one would have thought, where Revenant choosing the map of split, being undefeated there, is going to continue like that. Absolutely not. Lethal Esports giving them such a fierce fight right now.
Indeed, they most certainly are. They are giving them quite a fight, and you can see that Lethal at the moment are in the lead as well. It's 9-8, ladies and gentlemen, as we are heading into the next round number 18, and let's see how it works out for them.
Let's play.
Marzil out with the ultimate, and look at Paradox. He's actually gotten past quite a bit. This is an issue. They expect him to have actually come there, but his ultimate's going to run out way faster than he would expect. And Marzil, he goes in for that. That was a problem. Just let him run out of his ultimate, and there he goes. Now he has a classic to work with. That's about it. And he's stuck in spawn. They know where he is. And all they need to do right now is get rid of this one man. They're trying to save Paradox, but look at the amount of attention he's garnering. He's just going to keep the opponents busy while his teammates are trying to find information at certain spots. Problematic, and Android shut him down. That was well, that was not that much of a clean round. Paradox, unfortunately, running out of the neon fuel that he has. Lightning Force will be a costly measure. Knight Rider does hit Marzil, and he's actually down pretty damn low. But not to forget, the Sky is going to be there to save him from the trouble.
30 seconds
Yet
left.
again, towards B they go. They have got a flash against them, but not one that's going to be affecting them. Black Octo, good for one. Sensei shuts him down, and now Knight Rider, they know he's still on site, and they will delete him straight up. Plant goes down. 4 versus 2. No need to do anything at all. Just hold your ground. And Wimp may be wanting to support Logi's entry into the site here. You can pick up a Vandal, and now they know he's here. Rafa's ready for this, and Rafa will take him down. And the last man standing. The support, the best support in the game. Wimp. Oh. Snappy headshot, but not enough to finish the kill. But he will get Lucia though. Lucia will drop down. And with that, it is 10-8, ladies and gentlemen. In a game which has been back and forth every single round, could this double spawn win prove to be the difference for the side of Ellie? Because here, if they win this round, CCV, it could just be the end of Split with the first defeat for Revenant, and that too by the hands of Lethal.
Absolutely. Oh, Lethal Esports, they can take the map of Split. In the previous round, I mean, from the side of Revenant, it was a good strategy. They were like, we don't have the best of guns. You know what? Might as well go for a very, very slow kind of play. You know, let the members of Lethal Esports waste their time, which is exactly what Paradox was trying to do. You also had the fragment by the KO on the B bomb side towards Garage, slowing them down even further. The flashes were there, the fault lines and whatnot, but unfortunately, it still wasn't enough. Reverend's theory was if we let them waste enough time, eventually they may make blunders under the pressure of time. Then we can capitalize even if we have inferior weaponry. But unbeknownst to them, Lethal Esports, they didn't make too many of the mistakes. The execute was really good, and the guns were just too overpowering. You know, you had phantoms and bundles against judges and like sheriffs and class 6 and whatnot, and it just couldn't be. Blackhawk did manage to in succeeding in getting one kill, but that was that. Even he died. Then Knight Rider all alone in the bomb side. It wasn't pretty. But now Revenant Esports, they can afford a full buy for their side. That's exactly what they'll be going for. They've got a couple of ultimates at their disposal as well. Lethal Esports though, they don't want to waste enough. They don't want to waste a lot of time. Knight Rider goes for that Tour de Force. Android lands the first blow of the round. And again, it's the defenders who are down in numbers. But Wimp equalizes that pretty rapidly.
Knight Rider adds on to the misery. The equalizer has been put into the favor of Revenant, and those Seekers could be giving them quite a bit of value. They know that there's 2 players towards A now, and there's 1 towards B, or 2 at least. They know that Knight Rider was towards B main. Look at Rafa. This is positional advantage. This is probably the play that could put them on the board for 11. He can spray down both of them here if he needs. He will get one. No idea where Loki is. Does spot him out though. Needs to find the skill. Very important. And he will get it. 2 versus 2. The wall will go up along with the slow orb. And now Knight Rider has to just wait until he gets the support that he needs. Plant down. Retake scenario. A Sentinel and an Initiator against a Sentinel and an Initiator. 1 flash and a fault line available to work with. And of course, Knight Rider's insane aim to add on to that. And 3 bullets of that Chamber Headhunter. But Rafa, he's finding yet again position that will work out to the best of his abilities. He peeks out before they make it in towards elbow, and he will find himself the first kill that he requires. Now they know he's here. He fires off a bullet. They're playing off of the flashes. They're trying to keep this as alive as possible. Wimp turns his back around, but Knight Rider will get him stopped. And with that slowdown that comes from his own ultimate, he's not going to be able to find this round. Time far too gone. And he's going to probably lose his life as well. Unless, no, he just gets away. But the round's gone. And that is trouble spelling in every single letter possible. Ladies and gentlemen, Lethal find a brilliant round thanks to Rafa's heroics. And what a time for him to find a beautiful 2K and positional advantage. This made the play. It didn't matter that Android fell and it came down to 4 versus 2. It was immediately turned back to a 2v2. And that one little slow that Knight Rider himself unfortunately had gotten from his kill on to Sensei. Yeah, that just threw the bag out of the window. And now they are having to play with a little bit of a complacent vibe, but Knight Rider makes it work with the operator. And Revenant still alive and hale in this game, but for how long?
As a thing for Revenant, second chances are running out. 1 more round and Lethal Esports are on match point, securing overtime at the very least and potentially confirming a map win. So Revenant, this is the time. They've got to go for it. Metal to the pedal right now. They need to send it at 100 miles an hour, probably even faster, against Lethal Esports, because Lethal Esports, they are excellent at slowing down whatever Revenant have and completely overturning the result. Now once more, Lethal with the attack. Wim gets a hint of that. He aims to swing wide, and the gravity well alongside the slow up denies any opportunity for Lethal Esports to push into B heaven. Instead, they relocate towards the A bomb side. They've given the audio cue, so they are not being silent by any margins, and that is costing them because everyone getting concussed. Everyone in Revenant knows where the attackers are, and they're dealing with them not with their guns, but with their but with their utility. And again, the reposition takes place. Nice Rider, excellent headshot. Now he's looking for his third in the round. Goes back to the bomb side. Cosmic Divide, Agent of Chaos. The spike gonna be planted, but Revenant hold all the advantage in the world.
Well, Revenant,
Right.
they have utility available.
Yeah.
They're making best use of it. There's an ultimate as well that could be put to great use here, but Paradox, before anything else happens, he says, I'm gonna get into the action here. I'm gonna find myself the openings that's required. The wall comes up. Wim finds one. Now it's all under Lucia. He's trying to be sneaky. He's trying to get away. He will find the diffuser, but is it enough? The time,
I think it
more
is.
than enough. He
Yeah.
could have killed Paradox, but I don't know why that first one to Paradox didn't come through. He spotted Paradox, didn't he?
Yes, I think he did. And then he just looked away and he saw the KO, and I guess he froze for a second. And it was that split second decision, you know, do I go for the KO? Do I go for the neon? KO, neon. And in doing so, yes, he looks at the neon, looks at the KO again, and unfortunate. But yeah, that's that again. It was highly unlikely he would have been able to close out the round. But yeah, that only made it worse. So that's that. Revenant one step closer to, you know, equalizing the score. They've ended the 3-round streak that Lethal Esports had, and again, this is the longest any team has managed to win consecutively. 3 rounds was the winning streak of Lethal back in the first half, right now as well. And for the next round, we are seeing that Lethal Esports, well, Marzel gets off to an amazing start. He gets the headshot, and it's a weaker buy for the team in red. But the thing is, they're still able to do some solid work. Android as the raise, following the footsteps of Paradox, goes in towards vents, infiltrates that. Is waiting and can he spot Paradox? No, Paradox
the
vision, and Marvel still lands the shot. How?
I've got your trail.
That wasn't impossible. He was not even in his field of vision. He was away from that little, you know, the way that he could see from the scope, and he still found that kill. Marzel, you are a god, my man. But now the rest of your team needs to be caught. And Loki, he says, this ground is not enough for the both of us. And while Sensei does have revive available, finally as it comes to use, I think in the entirety of this game, it is going to be probably the most important piece of utility that's gonna get lethal. They win. Wimp has no idea that he's getting backstabbed. 33 HP, and it is a shotgun that comes to haunt him back from the beginning of the round that was done by Android. And now to finish it off with Rafa. Match point, ladies and gentlemen. Lethal about to take down Revenant on their best map.
All right, Revenant Esports, this is it. For their side, Fracture is going to be a map they have no choice but to play, and they need to push it to bind if things go the way that they are. And the thing is, Lethal Esports, they have a lot of time to secure this map win. Like, it isn't, you know, 12-11, it's 12-9. So they are like, out of 3 rounds, Lethal just need to secure 1. And that makes things a whole lot easier for their side. And Revenant, though, the thing is, in this round, they still have to be very careful, just like every single round. I mean, yeah, that's that pretty much. Because of the fact that there are no second chances. They are hanging by the last straw. Revenant Esports have to give it their 100%. They don't have a single ultimate available. Lethal Esports aren't doing any better. It's only Android who's got the showstopper, but we've seen what Android can do with the showstopper. Every single time it's been pulled out, he has managed to create a spectacle, get 1-2 kills time and time again, really consistent with it. And once more, the Trailblazer gets a heap of information that there are members towards the B Heaven stairs. Lethal Esports in their act of execution, they've got to be careful. The flash goes out, Wim peeks, it flashes no one. The concuss is there with the fault line. Wimp is ready. I guess he's waiting for the cue signal from Paradox. He still goes to the fault line again. Concusses no one. Lethal Esports are waiting this out, but time is not to their advantage. They've got 30 seconds. They're against a Neon and a
30
Breach.
seconds left.
They have heaps of utility. You have to push through no matter the cost. The gravity well is present. Android is finally going to say, screw it. I'm going to push forward. He has to be at the forefront. Showstopper doesn't land. Marzel surely does. And in the bomb side, we've got 2 defenders. Now only one. Paradox, he has also been eliminated. Lethal Esports have
standing.
complete control
10 seconds
of
left.
the bomb site and of the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, 1 versus 5. Knight Rider needs to pull off one of the biggest clutches that he ever has in his life. But he's going to be outmatched here, it seems, to Marcel, who is the hero of his team. With that, it is going to be lethal to defeat Revenant on Split. And what a way to do it. And look at Android. Oh boy. That was quite a victory.
Yep. Yeah. 2 different boot camps and 2 very different atmospheres. I mean, we saw the Lethal Esports members and now we are seeing the Revenant members as well. Bit of despair on their face, especially Knight Rider. Like, I mean, looking at Knight Rider, you can understand that this was supposed to be the map of Revenant. I said it myself.
Yep.
You know, I said the Revenant shouldn't have too many difficulties in winning this one, and Lethal shouldn't have any problems in Fracture because for both of the teams, those maps are their strengths. That's what the historical data has shown us for the entirety of the Community Cup. However, it wasn't the case. Lethal Esports, they did their homework, they prepared accordingly as to how Revenant would be playing, and they stacked the deck exactly against the hands of Revenant. They dealt the best cards to themselves and ended up taking the whole pot. Well, not just yet. They have a significant, a lot bigger bid in this entire best of 3 than Revenant. They hold a bit more of that advantage, but the fight is still not out. Who knows? Maybe this is a classic case of Valorant where you win the map of your opponents, lose yours, and we go to the decider map. Maybe Revenant have done their homework on the map of Fracture and they can defeat Lethal there. We don't know that. But what we do know is Split was a thoroughly entertaining map and Lethal Esports truly deserved the win because of how they played, and they absolutely deserve this map point.
Indeed, they definitely deserve this map point, and I think that with the way that they have shown their attacking prowess as well as the defense, that they held up for quite a while, and especially that one little part of the round that where I told that it could have changed the game, which was that 10-8 scoreline, because it was going back and forth between them. But the minute they were able to pick up that second round consecutively in that high intense action, was when the difference was made. Let's go to the highlights as we talk about this, because once that 10-8 came in, they only gave in one bit of, this is where it went all for themselves. While Wimp and Knight Rider were able to secure a bit of this round, the only thing that stopped them was this right here, which completely shifted up the round. Rafa winning this duel right here against, forgive me, this backstab over here. And of course, keeping Knight Rider busy so that he doesn't defuse the spike. This was the only place where they found a round. Revenant, they brought it back to 11-9, but after that, there was nothing more to say.
Yeah, after that Revenant, no matter what they were trying, it unfortunately just wasn't going their way. Lethal Esports always had a counter, and the defense of Revenant could never hold up. I mean, again, that's the thing. For Revenant, this may come as a big shocker to them, because so far in the entirety of the Community Cup, like I said, statistically, their defense on the map of Split has been the strongest. Full stop. And like, this is not like my personal opinion as well. Like, statistics back this up. They've won like 7 out of 7 rounds, 6 out of 7 rounds, 9 out of 12 rounds in the previous matches on their defense specifically. This was their strong suit, but this is where they lost it out. I mean, after an equal half 6-6, after the first half, which ended in 6-6, Lethal Esports, they still took a major advantage and they ended up taking the win eventually for their side. So yeah, I definitely have to say this was a big shocker for the members of Revenant Esports, and this must have surprised them, the fact that they lost it out. There was one timeout as well that was taken. I think it may have been taken by the members of Lethal Esports. Exactly, I'm not very sure, but it was a much needed timeout. And still, regardless of that, Reverend just couldn't manage to secure the win. So they must be definitely disheartened with how Split has gone.
Yeah, it definitely will, get them a bit of, a confidence. Lethal. I think that
Yeah, yeah,
Revenant
yeah.
will be taking this loss hard because they've not been beaten on Split for quite a while now, and taking in this loss is going to affect them quite a bit. And going into Fracture of all maps is just going to be a little bit more difficult with that sort of, situation around them. The atmosphere of their boot camp, we saw as much of a difference it is, while Revenant are pretty, much in the lower end of things right now. They still have a lot of, skill in their players. Every one of them can turn it around. We've seen them play Fracture before. We've seen them take Fracture before. That Neon
Right.
absolutely just slaps in that map. And of course, we have not just one, we have two players this time playing it on the map of Fracture. It is going to be both Paradox as well as Android. Android plays the Neon on that map, and he
Yes.
clearly loves it as much as he can. And of course, to follow that up, we've got a couple of breaches, chambers, and stuff like that. Maybe changes here and there could be in terms of the secondary duelist. Are they going to go for a fade, which has been sometimes played, or are they going to go for that KO, which is also a very popular choice, or a Sky even if they want it? But so far, it has been the side of
Unlikely, but
Lethal
yeah.
to take themselves ahead of the curve. Let's go to the scorecard and just have a look at the numbers perspective. And Rafa is on the top at the MVP, deservedly. I think that Marzel honestly deserves the MVP, but every single person on this team has performed. And look at their numbers: 18, 18, 16, 18, 12. That is team effort right
Yep.
there.
Absolutely. I mean, from the side of Lethal Esports, really everyone, sorry, stepped up to the mark whenever it was needed from their side, and everyone was consistent. I mean, looking at the kills, you've got Rafa with 18 kills highest, Android 18, 16, 18, Lucia as well. Okay, as the controller, I would still say he had a pretty good day, 12 kills. It's not anyone is struggling. And something similar can be said for Revenant as well. I mean, the person with the lowest amount of kills, it's Logista. But guess what? Both of the players are playing controllers, and Split is a large map where on defense and on attack, you need a lot of that active. Smokes, and you need a lot of active presence from the controller, so it makes sense why they may not have the most amount of kills. Still, the fact that they've been able to reach double digits means that all 10 of the players definitely got a good feel for the map, and nobody was lacking in terms of their mechanical skill. That right there is an exceptional factor. That means that there was no problems whatsoever with the performances of the players. Rather, it was about the strats and the play styles, which was letting one team, in this case Lethal, take the win. But since we are talking about numbers, let's have a look at the match MVP. My suspicion is that it will be Night Rider. I mean, look at the performance. He's had 21 kills, 265 average combat score, 14 deaths. Mr. Chamber, Mr. Consistent as well. If he's having a bad day, he will always recover. If he's having a good day, he'll make it better. And he better make it better on the map of Fracture, because if he doesn't, it's not going to get any better for the side of Revenant Esports. They are going to go into the lower brackets, and they will have a bit more of a better time there, essentially. So yeah, Knight Rider, great performance. Will absolutely be delighted to see him on the chamber again on the map of Fracture. But so far, seeing him on Split, it was a thorough delight, especially with those Torde fours, triple kills and quad kills and those operator shots and whatnot.
Yeah, indeed. I think Nigeria has been pretty impactful for his team, of course, but it just wasn't enough to go all the way for his team. 13 and 9. And yeah, while individual performances are one thing, um it is the side of Lethal who showed what team effort really is. When everybody is individually performing, they all connect, and they did such a good job, man. It was a joy to watch Lethal play today, especially Rafa, who
Yep.
started off pretty damn low. I think he was 6 and 9, 6 and 10. I think when he was at the bottom of the table, I think around the first or second round of the second half, and then he just popped off, man. The flanks, the utility usages, everything. brilliant, just amazing stuff overall from the side of Lethal. And I can't wait to see what's going to be coming up on Fracture. I am really excited to see whether this team can 2-0 one of the big ones out there.
Oh, it's going to be a big upset if it happens because, yeah, definitely these two are the best two teams that we have in the Community Cup so far. Given the fact that they have been undefeated, every other team who is still alive, we only have 4 teams remaining right now, but every other team has still had a loss, with the exception of Lethal and Revenant. One of these teams, well, from the looks of it right now, maybe Revenant, who can take a loss, but so far, things are not guaranteed. We may go to the map of Bind. We may see a third map. But what is for certain is the fact that we are going to see so much more of that entertainment. Look at the kills that we saw in the highlights during the replay of the first map as well. These players definitely at the top of their game, definitely at the top of the region as well when it comes to mechanical skill. And if you, the person watching, want to get at the level of these players, you definitely need upgrades in your gaming arsenal if you want to. So why not go down in the description, get yourself some monitors from LG Ultragear, 27-inch 144 hertz, really top of the line stuff. Make sure that all of your shots are really crisp, that you see everything that's going on in the game. Or if you're just enjoying some entertainment, if you want to just give a major upgrade to your entire workstation, to your system, get some processors from the side of Intel. They've got high-end processors, mid-range and entry-level processors as well, to suit the entire market, to suit you for what your needs are, be it gaming, be it work. Intel has got you covered, and so does Crucial. Because that's the thing, be it gaming, be it work, be it just entertainment in general, you need those RAMs, you need the SSDs, you need the fastest speeds possible. And of course, if you're watching us on Loco, and make sure once this stream ends, you see a lot more of that entertainment, you see a lot more of the streamers that are present on the site as well. But for the time being, we'll be seeing the map of Fracture alongside the agent compositions that, well, these teams have already locked and loaded for. Revenant Esports, they are going for that double Sentinel. And for the members of Lethal Esports, well, they're still thinking about it. Do they want a double initiator, perhaps with KO and Breach, or are they looking for something else?
Well, they might be going for the Breach because that's the only initiator that I think would make sense to go with that KO. Whereas on the other side of things, we've got Revenant on a very defensive lineup. They have the Sage in their arsenal, which makes it very interesting, of course, when they're on the defense, but they are on the attack right now. Revenant will start off on the attack, and we will be seeing whether or not they can take it with a bang, because they need that at least minimum 7-5 scoreline or 8-4 if possible, and they need Paradox to just absolutely pop off. They need that one factor that he puts into that map of Fracture very well, which Revenant are not dissimilar with. They know how to work this map. They know how to approach it. They know where and how to make the executes happen. We've seen it before, and we will be seeing it again. But the only thing that I'm worried about here is, are they ready for how prepared Lethal are? Because they chose this map, and I'm pretty sure that while Revenant expected Fracture to be in this, they pretty sure did not expect to lose on Split. And because of which, Fracture could be a little bit of the mind game here that would be playing. So let's find out, ladies and gentlemen. Into the game we go. What potentially could be the grand finalist here of the Community Cup, Lethal Esports, to push it 2-0, or Revenant to take us to the final map. How is it going to go?
Alright, again, Paradox, you always know this man to be really rapid. Marzel though knows where Paradox is, and Marzel kicks the first head of the map. So that is the spearhead of the attack for Revenant gone. They're still going to be pushing through in the defender spawn. The attackers go, but the attackers are getting lopsided from the presence, the sheer presence of the defenders have the crossfires that are being maintained. Marzel swings wide, but this time it's Blackhawk and Logista keeping the hopes alive. Logista goes ham, and before you know it, Lethal Esports are the ones at a deficit because it's Sensei all by himself. He's locked off, can get an insane angle. Logista was prepared for it. That's 3 headshots for the Sage, and Revenant Esports, even though they suffered blows at the start, they will still manage to secure the round win. Really insane stuff right here.
Indeed, it is pretty good stuff from the side of Revenant. That approach was a little different from what we've seen anything happen before, directly going in towards ropes and almost making it to their spawn, but worked out for them. And thanks to Logi and Blackhawk staying alive, finding themselves what they need, they will keep the team in the advantageous position. Paradox trying to bait out a peek from heaven as Rafa hides just in the smallest bit of corners available to him. Wim busy fighting towards the mid side of the A side, and there goes all of the defense. One after the other, they fall pretty quickly. Standard procedure for the side of Revenant. They pick up a couple of extra pistols for themselves, upgraded pistols, but they will be playing with all 5 on Spectres, and they have quite a bit of money, of course, because nobody fell at all. So this is Lethal now, who need to put their mark. Is it going to be the same as the previous map where it goes blow for blow? Because Lethal really need that right now.
Oh, Lethal definitely need to, get their hopes up, make a comeback. Maybe even, we wait for the second half, because that's when things really got interesting. And always, as I always say, the side swap shakes things up in a match of Valorant more than anything else. Right now, for the time being, Lethal Esports, this is their full buy. They need to win this round. Revenant are going at it full force. They're in the bomb site. They get the first kill. Rafa still staying alive. That's 2 for him with the Phantom. Buys himself just enough time that the reinforcements come in, and the aftershock from Marzel prevents the spike from being planted just for a little bit more, but the spike is going to go down nonetheless. It is a 3 versus 3. And Lethal Esports, all of them are pushing in from defender spawn from the same direction. Blackhawk is guarding Arcade, and he gets the headshot on Lucia. That's 1 Brimstone getting rid of another. Blackhawk with 1 more, and he is the anchor keeping the hopes alive. And Logista secures the deal. So Revenant, they have come into this map with full force, swinging at it. Every single shot is a punch to the face for Lethal Esports. They've gotten 3 punches dealt back to back to back. And they are in a knockdown state because once more, Universe, look at their economy. I mean, what can Lethal Esports really do with just upgraded guns? They must have to wait out round number 4 and then go for rifles.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a slump early on the map that they've chosen, but it's something that they should have expected coming into this map, that Revenant are pretty good on Fracture, almost just as good as they are, and given that their utility count is way more, they should be Lethal, playing it a little bit more controlled. Yet again, they go towards that side. This time, the stings are not going to work. Paradox will be able to take out 2 as Rafa will trade him out. But instantly, the rotations are going back and forth across both sides. It's like a pin. It's like a pinwheel. One goes the other way, the other goes around, and towards A while they find themselves. It's gonna be a simple round for Revenant. Sensei though will take out 1. A brilliant shot from him, but Blackhawk deliver the same back to him. Rafa on the back end finds 1. The knife clears it out for him. He does have support, but that support, as soon as I talk about it, has fallen. Now it's only the 1 man left. He could come from either side. Knife Rider is holding on that angle. Rafa, 1 versus 1, but not too much health left on his body to keep that fight going. He brought it very close. Damage was done, but all for nothing. 4-0. Lethal on the lower end, and now the only way that they gotta make this work is if they stop giving Revenant the plant, man. Revenant have got way too much utility on the post plant, that they have the luxury of being anywhere across, and they just can hold off because they've got the slow ups from the Sage, they've got the fault line, of course they've got Paradox running around, and they've got Blackhawk with his smokes as well as their now the ultimate Orbiter Strike as well as the Molotov. So it's quite a bit of utility that he's going to be utilizing. And yet again, it actually left the B side completely empty. Android might have found Blackhawk, but the plant will go down yet again. No smokes, that's for sure, but it's still Lethal on the back seat right now. Because the plant goes down, it's going to be trouble. But Android says no. He disagrees with me, and he disagrees with everybody else as well. Rafa's found 1 more, and the ultimate will stop them from any sort of utility going down now. Now that's where the KO comes big.
I need a reset.
But he has been shut down, and now it's suddenly a 2v2. No revives available. But low, no. Marzel. Oh man, Fafa will fall. The wall is ready from Loki's side. He's looking to find a kill himself, but Marzel walks out into a ghost. The wall will cover off half the side, and now it's all on to one man, Sensei, who's playing here for good measure, and he will not connect the second shot onto Loki, who secures the round while being on 3 HP for more than half of that. How is that guy not dead? One bullet, half a bullet through a wall if required could have killed him.
Holds on. Just holds on. I mean, yeah, for the time being, in the previous map, Knight Rider was the MVP, but so far it has been Legista. The Battle Sage is in full force. He got a triple kill in the pistol round. He closed out the previous one, and the round we just witnessed, he closed this one as well. The 1v1s are working for him. The clutches are working for him. He is in prime condition. And for the members of Lethal Esports, well, yeah, definitely Marzel, you can see his face, a lot more different expressions. Fortunately, we can't see the remaining players, but hopefully we can very, very soon. But yeah, from the looks of it, it has been a major change in momentum. It has been a major change in the morale of these two teams. This is Revenant knowing that the fracture may as well be theirs. And as the timeout comes to an end, it seems like Lethal Esports, they got to get their foot back up. They have to pick themselves back up, essentially, dust themselves off and get back at it. But it is far more easier said than done, because of the past 5 rounds, they have been trying different things. It's just that the execution of Revenant either doesn't hit you till the final 30 seconds or hits you with such force you have no option to back off and play retake. And Lethal Esports this time, they've got the Rolling Thunder, they've got the Orbital Strike, they've got multiple utilities and ultimates to deny that execute from taking place. If right now Lethal Esports can't deny and execute from Revenant, it's going to get so much more difficult for them in the entirety of their defensive half. Because Revenant are just going to realize this mistake, and that's probably one of the discussions going on in the Revenant League Camp. They'll be like, oh, they can't stop our executes. Let's keep on executing. Look at Paradox. Once more, he pushes forward. The ultimate goes through from Android. Actually, he's going to be his side.
He's gone into canteen.
And
oh boy, Android, no idea about this. And look at the amount of confusion this one man is causing. That Bucky doesn't even hit him for quite a bit much that he was expecting over there, poor old Lucia. And because of which, the entirety of Lethal Esports have been thrown into a mix. Sensei will take down Paradox though, and Knight Rider instantly trading back at that favor in the form of Marzel. They have 2 members alive and 2 weapons to work with, but the way that Revenant are playing right now is absolutely amazing. Such precision and chaos that's being caused by them, and of course they're just gonna find them. Paradox has done this already twice.
yeah, this time Lethal Esports, they definitely fell. I mean, they didn't entirely fall for the fake. The thing was that, like you mentioned, Universe, Paradox just went into canteens, and Android did not expect that in the slightest. So after Paradox eliminated the 2 members on the B-bomb side, Revenant then were like, wait a minute, if Paradox knows the B-bomb side is empty, why bother trying to sell a fake on A? We know that for a fact that majority of the members are on A, and that was the problem for Lethal. They could not escape out of the A-bomb site in time for rotations, because where do you make the rotations from? You can't go through defend spawn through canteen, because again, the members of Revenant are in A main. They're watching the crossfire. Paradox is in canteen as well. You can't go through A main because, like I just said, Revenant's members were already present there. Revenant, as an attacking team, they found the advantage on the rotations to a different bomb site than the defenders. This was a highly unusual scenario that you don't see often, where it's the defenders that are locked within a bomb site and can't escape. But somehow that was the situation, and Revenant, they still made it work. Bravo to their side, 6-0 they are, and it's like Split has absolutely woken them up. So now this is it. Lethal Esports, they better be prepared, because they are in for a difficult ride again. Paradox, look at him going through the concussion. No, Marzel stops him. That was a wild 360. Logista also gets shut down, and Lethal Esports a well taken timeout and a well fought out result on A main.
Android still holding his ground.
Right there.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Ultragear presents the TEC Community Cup, powered by Intel and Crucial. Really sorry about the issues that's been happening, but unfortunately, the internet's been a little bit of a enemy to us today. And while we have got it back online, we will be starting the game in just a couple of minutes now. Not even minutes, a couple of seconds now. We should be getting into the game in just a bit, but we do apologize for the technical difficulties that have happened so far. and hopefully the internet doesn't haunt us as much as we've been dreading it. So far, we have seen Lethal put up their first round on the board. You haven't missed any of the action, that's for sure. We've paused the game right as where it is, and we will be heading into it in just about a second. But so far, we have had lot of Revenant action, and with that Revenant action has come a lot of successful rounds as well. 1 and 6, they are quite above the leaderboard on top of Lethal right now. 5 rounds differential. Do you think they can make it back, CCV? Can Lethal put up at least 5 rounds on the board?
Maybe, okay, 5 rounds is a bit much, but I think they can try and salvage the half. Maybe a 9-3 or like an 8-4, but equalizing it 6-6 is a bit far-fetched because I don't think the Revenant are going to give this lead away. The real action will begin in the second half because that's when, again, side swap will be taking place. We'll be seeing a whole new structure. Revenant themselves will be on defense. Lethal will start out on attack. I can't say for certain what's going to happen in the second half. We still need to wait and watch out for that. But for the time being, absolutely, there is a chance Lethal make a comeback into this. You know, as unfortunate as the technical issue was, this gives both the teams a little bit of time to talk through exactly what has been happening. And for Lethal, they needed this a lot because, yeah, even after their own timeout, they finally won a single round. They have had a bit of time to go over things, to rectify their mistakes most likely, and to make sure they do not repeat those mistakes again. So starting off with round number 8, let's have a look at Lethal and let's see what has changed in their playstyle. From the members of Revenant Esports, well, the spike seems to be towards Arcade, and that's where Paradox also is. He is pushing through, evades the fault line, but Iskia senses he gets the first kill, and Paradox is going to be pushing through even further. But now he has been denied, and Lethal Esports, brilliant maneuver from their side. Get the first kill, throw the fragment, throw the smoke, don't let Revenant push through. On the other side of the map, Android gets another kill, and Revenant Esports, they are just dying and dying, and they haven't gotten any redemption whatsoever.
Rafa still sitting at the behind of that box, as Lethal have complete control of everything at the moment, and Mars has already made his way back towards drop as well, and that's exactly where the fight is going to be coming. Logi still expecting that somebody should be behind that box, and Rafa's not giving up his ground at all. Logi might be able to slip past him if possible, because nobody's actually watching that region where Rafa is, you know, not having a look at. And Sensei will find him just about in time, and they will take care of him. Both of the last remaining players towards drop now, and Android and Mazla keeping them busy at the moment. Spotted one, looking for the final one. Wimp will take down one before he probably goes down himself. Flashes, spams, and Judge shotgun kill. Alright, alright. Well, another round for Lethal. One that did give them fruitfulness in the beginning due to the aggression towards Arcade, but instantly Revenant have been put a stop. Have you noticed one thing, CCV? The minute Paradox dies, their instant reaction, Revenant, is to just stop. They just stop right then and there. They don't move as much. They just wait and hope that somebody else is going to push in. But yeah. Okay.
Paradox this time gets the opening kill, and this forces Lethal Esports to go back. But yeah, Paradox definitely the spearhead of the attack, and many times on attack, if he fails, Revenant Esports have to take a big haul. This is one of the things Paradise Esports had also figured out the last time they played against RNT on the map of Fracture. Unfortunately for Paradise, they end up losing 9-13. Maybe Lethal may follow the same suit, but they have figured this out. They need to get rid of the Neon as soon as possible. We are seeing trades occur, but in the aftermath of things, the Revenant Esports are still looking to get into a bomb site, and Lethal are denying them the opportunity. Now, Rolling Thunder and the smokes go through. Orbital Strike is also there. Sensei in the bomb site has to hold on. He has been spotted. He still gets the kill with the operator. Now, Blackhawk eliminates him, but this buys Lethal just that extra bit of more time for them to start pushing forward. The Sage Wall is broken. Oh, well, it will be broken very, very shortly, and the retake can be on.
Versus 2. Spamming down the wall, and Revenant know that both of them are here. The flash comes through. It is a pretty good flash, but that slow orb is gonna probably be their demise. Lucia, no utility to work with. The double peak comes through, and no way he's gonna be winning that 7th for Revenant, as Blackhawk and Logi secure what was a very important round for them so that they could stop Lethal on the tracks. And with that, they have already won the first half, and for good measure, given that their first game ended out to be a disaster, and this looks like it could be going to a third map if things go the same way here, CCV.
Yeah, I mean, Bind seems like a very real possibility for Lethal Esports. Oof, they are down in the ditches, and the thing is, we've never seen this kind of problem before in the entirety of the best of 3, because Split was so much of back and forth and back and forth. Towards the end as well, it was what, 13-9, the final score, 13-10 maybe. So there was never a point where a team was struggling by more than like 3 or 4 rounds. That was the maximum usually. Right now, Lethal are trailing by 5 rounds. Previously, it was 6. So they need to strive to make that comeback. And Revenant Esports, they walk into a free A bomb site. What happened here? Lethal Esports give them the site for free, and they're on for the retake. You've got the Tore Force, you've got the Null Command on KO, you've got the Rolling Thunder as well on Breach, but they need to win the gunfights. And almost all members of Revenant are in A main, or this can be disastrous for Revenant if they're not careful. One Rolling Thunder can spoil their plans entirely, and it concusses almost everyone in the server. Look at Lethal going to the bomb site. Marzel gets one, he pushes forward. Now it's the fault line. Marzel with another. The spike is gone, and the members of Revenant fall with it. Excellent retake.
Indeed. I was really afraid that Marzel was going to use that ultimate on site, but he kind of expected that, yeah, they're going to expect that. So he, counter-expected them and put them through towards the A main side and concussed everybody and shattered their hopes through the ground itself. And then his utility, the flashes, the fault line, everything worked out perfectly for him to find a 3K and for his teammates to find the defuse. Brilliantly done by Marzel there to hold his team in place and find themselves round number 3. But it's still not over though. They need to make it a minimum 7 and 5 if they're looking to at least get some sort of redemption in this first half. Lucia could be in trouble here. He's got a player real close to him while he's hoping that somebody crosses that smoke and maybe gives him a free kill. Lucia spots one. Another smoke popping down already. He closes up the gap between them. And now it's on to Paradox, who wants to maybe try and just jump out of this. The Molotov discourages him. Rafa and Sensei, though, are finding kills of their own. Wimp will trade back finally. 1 player down from Lethal, but 4 more who are pretty healthy to keep this fight going. Sensei drops Paradox to the ground, and instantly, yet again, the exact same movement. Every time they go arcade, it doesn't work out for them. They run back towards drop, and they find a site for themselves. But this is something that even Lethal don't have a problem with, because their retakes have not been completely unsuccessful. They found themselves multiple times where they could get the kills, but this time Marzel won't. The ultimate comes through, and it's gonna be Sensei to be burnt alive to a crisp in that orbital strike. And now Lucia yet again in a 1v2, but this is a very doable situation, because if he finds the kill onto one, he can expect the second and not be able to kill him though, because he thought he's going to be towards the left side of the sand region. Number 8. Oh man, Lethal doing everything right except for holding on to that A bomb site.
Yep, they can't hold on the bomb side. The rotations are what is causing them to, lose out the side, and then Revenant just plant the spike. And yeah, I mean, I have to agree with you. The retakes for Lethal have worked out at times, but more often than not, it's been Revenant. As soon as the spike goes down, they get the round more or less. And now we enter the final round of the first half. Revenant Esports, they want the 9-3. They want as much of a lead as possible before they go into the side swap, just narrowly missing Android. But on the other side of the map, one Neon misses, the other one hits. Paradox gets the opener, and again, the defenders are at a man disadvantage. What is the plan for Revenant, though, you may ask? Well, they're looking to go on the B bomb side, and again, the rotations of Lethal Esports mean that it's just Sensei on B for the time being. Paradox, excellent juke play with the flash blind drop secures the kill. Great teamwork. And Revenant don't even need to plant the spike. This is a full-on massacre. It's all down to Sensei inside of defender spawn. Revenant are still willing to plant the spike first, and then they'll win the round.
Spike planted.
Well, while the Cossack scoreline does pop up, let's see that if
Switching
Lethal believe in it, because on their attack they have been pretty convincing on the other maps that they've other series that they've played Fracture on. They have got a very convincing and very dominating attacking showcase, given that they do have two initiators working side by side, Rafa and Mazel, who just absolutely throw all of their utility in one place and allow Android to cause all the damage possible, who has not been having the best of games. 3-11 he is down, and so has been Lucia, 3-10. And I'm a little worried about what exactly is their situation, because they need confidence and they need it now, or else if this goes to bind, it's going to be a whole different ball game in the park, because Revenant and Lethal on bind is going to be very, well, let's just say it's going to be a very uncommon affair, because I don't know how that one's going to fare out. Revenant are pretty decent on bind. They're pretty, I would say that it's a map that they would casually pick up on any sort of a series if they need a backup, if at all one of their best maps get banned. But Lethal on bind, I don't quite remember when they quite had an impactful performance. So if this goes to bind, I'm going to be a little worried about Lethal.
Definitely, because it's not just their performances, it's about the momentum. And one thing that we have seen is that God knows what happened after split. But for Revenant, they are just on it. The momentum has completely taken a big 180-degree turn, and it favors R&T so much right now. It's from the looks of it, they've got everything under control. They've got most of their stuff on lockdown, and they're just willing to now close out the entire map, 4 more rounds, and that may be it. And who knows, this can be the start of those 4 more rounds. So Revenant Esports, pistol for their side. Side swap has happened. This is the major crux. The side swap has taken place. And now, you never know. Lethal Esports can get back into it with their executions. Thing is, they've still got a Neon. And it is kind of a... I mean, at this point, you can't call this a fake that they're planning. They're just split out entirely. The spike is towards A main, and they're just holding, expecting Revenant to make the first move, and maybe they can exploit that, but Revenant are not going to push any further. Look at Night Rider. He's barely peeking towards B main, just looking for info. He is not revealing himself or being in a vulnerable position at all, and that's the same rule set all the defenders are playing with. So Lethal Esports, they have to make the move. They go for the 3 smokes. The aftershock is there, and they will be entering the bomb site, but they have used up almost all of their utility. They haven't gotten any kills. They may get the spike planted, but can they deal with the retake?
Well, let's find out. Oh, they run straight in. Wimpspawn too. And now they've got a lot more in terms of bullets as well as support. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, Revenant stormed through that smoky little region, cutting between the spawn drop and the site. And they don't care about what's on the other side. They just rampage through and they find themselves a pistol, and that's number 10. And this is a problem. Lethal in heavy, heavy trouble here. They need to find themselves another round and another and another. And that's the only way they need to get back into this game, because even then they're going to be in trouble in terms of how far away they are from closing that gap. I'm not quite sure what exactly their game plan is. They are on an eco. They're going to have to try and play it out a little bit smartly. Maybe find somehow a couple of pistol kills, shotguns, play close ranges. Otherwise, Lethal are going to be looking at Bind with a little bit of despair.
Oh, Lethal Esports, yeah. I mean, Bind, it is not far-fetched from this point forward. And Lethal Esports, they definitely will be looking at it from a lens of despair. They'll be dreading it 100%, especially seeing the performance of Revenant. Maybe there's something different Lethal have in the bank, but from the looks of it, seeing how they're playing, they really want to win on Fracture. The problem is they are being denied on every opportunity. Kind of like what was happening to the members of Revenant in the final few rounds on the map of Split. No matter what Revenant were trying, no matter what they were putting on board, every single time it used to be wiped off existence. And Lethal took the dub. This is the same problem that Lethal now are facing. And another timeout has been taken. We are seeing, well, for the time being, just Marzel's perspective, and a lot of talks are going on. So you have to wait and watch what the end result is going to be, because Lethal really desperate for their side. We can see they have gone for a force buy after losing your pistol. If this works for them, well and truly, they may. I mean, I'm not going to use the word comeback will be real, but like they can be on their way to build more rounds. But if they lose this force buy, boy oh boy, Revenant are in for a treat. They may just close the map 13-3.
Well, an early push towards Arcade. And it looks like the side of Lethal have forced into this on TCV. They want to go all for it, and it might not work out for them. Blackhawk stunned by Android, not just by that utility, but also from his mind, because he just took him down so easily. The plant will go down, though, as Lethal take the advantage. But it's still a difficult situation for them to hold on to. Sensei makes it a little easier by taking out Wimp. And now they've got one more to go. Knight Rider goes down as well. And Loki's the only one left. A great force buy works out in their favor. And Revenant have no clue what hit them.
Yeah, that's it. Again, Lethal Esports, the force buy works, and a force buy works in an amazing manner, because this now means they've got better weaponry. Revenant Esports, they are struggling. Now, this doesn't solve all of the problems for Lethal Esports, but definitely solves like 15% of them, having another round almost secured, because Revenant is going to be a weaker buy from their side. Lethal a full-on bonus, or like an anti-eco, even if you want to call it. They can build up their economy, and Revenant are pushing into it. Paradox with the shorty. He is suppressed, and he is going to be denied any opportunity. Android was completely flashed. You can see how many members of Lethal Esports were flashed in that A main section, but they still got those 2 kills. And Revenant Esports now, ooh,
Right here.
they are down in the Dodgers, essentially, because they've got 3 members, but Revenant, no, this round isn't going to be theirs by any stretch of imagination. Why? As I just stated, they don't have the best of weaponry. Lethal are going to take their time, and the priority for Lethal Esports should be secure manpower. Do not die, Android, do not die. He's going to be the first victim, but at least he tells his team where the remaining, where one of the players are.
One enemy
Rafa secures
remaining.
the kill. From behind, Knight Rider took another, but that's it. Logista is the only man. And the last time we saw him, he could
Weapon
go
here.
for those 1v3 clutches, but now doing those seems a bit unlikely.
Weapon here.
Well, Marzel, very if at all he chooses to push through that door, he actually takes out Lucia. Okay, then. They really are bullying those two, aren't they? Lucia and Android are getting absolutely smothered here by the opponent. Oh, he almost took out Rafa as well. That could have been a dicey situation for that economy. But LE will hold on. They've got weapons to buy. They've got everything in their bag right now. And they're halfway across from where they need to be and more. Revenant, full buy available. Knight operator, but this time he will be the glass cannon operator. One that can be shattered with just 3 bullets to the body. If he misses a shot, that is only if he does. And he is very keen on peeking towards drop, it seems. That's a very unusual angle for him to be, but he does have the ability to come back and be at a heightened zone to find the A main kills, if at all anything.
I'm out of here.
At the moment, Android and Rafa trying to hold up towards this A main side, maybe sell out a fake if need be. But there's no sound being made at B side either to maybe get that fake, if at all, on the other side going. Paradox spots out one, gives a little bit of damage. Ellie, hold on. No plan as of yet, but it looks like it should be the A side. But we've all seen what happened last time they popped down the smokes and tried to rush in. It's a difficult
Yeah.
situation to be in. There come the knives, and that Paradox being detected. They might expect him to be on side, and Grenade pushes off a little bit of his position. But Android playing with the smoke, and so is the other Neon. They're trying to play a little bit of hide and seek here, and it's going to be Android to win that game. The backstab is going to come in as well, as Lethal are in the driver's seat now, and they need to hold on as long as possible. Marzil, forgive me, Sensei finds one, and Loki, while he trades one off, he's got a revive available as well. The Molotov to hold them at bay for a couple of more seconds. They have the utility to try and get this out. Ultimate goes down, but not going to affect anybody in the orbital strike. Wimp will get Rafa, Blackhawk will get Lucia, and now it's on to just two members left. Marcel gets the one kill that Android needs to find, but it's not going to come through. Number 11 pops up for Revenant.
Oof. That was a chaotic round for the side of Revenant Esports, and they secured it. I guess that's what they're mainly happy about. They stopped the winning streak that Lethal have, and I guess they're realizing that okay, now very well fracture is ours. We just have like two more rounds, secure another. That's overtime match point completed, and then the objective is just one more singular round, and that will be it. So they're just waiting on out. And for Lethal Esports, losing out the previous round was it was detrimental, because the problem was for Lethal, that was really their full buy. They had the better rifles, they had everything in accordance, but Revenant still dealt with them, and they took majority of those rifles back. And it means that more like economic advantage for R&T. As for the members of LE, really they are hanging by a thread. Like, I'm going to be using the same terms I was for Revenant when it was the map of split, because this is a full on turnaround. Like I said, this is one of those classic instances that happens in Valorant, that happens in esports as well, in the best of threes, where you lose your own map but win your opponents. And for Revenant, they know this. And I think everyone now knows bind is not an option, it is the future. Bind is going to be the decider of this best of three, to see that which team will be the first grand finalist. But before that, Paradox has a way with words. The judge swings by, the judge gives a verdict. Lethal Esports are guilty of losing out the map of Fracture, and this is Lethal Esports going to bind now as the punishment, I guess.
Well, here we go. Lethal not giving this up, and neither is Paradox with that judge. And he's not even taken a bit of damage. He's just taken about 7 damage. That's about it. 7 points of damage. Knight Rider's here to support him as well, and with that smoke dissipating away, they might just expect that Ellie are not here anymore. Okay, Knight Rider, why did he not shoot? The ultimate comes through, and Paradox is out in the open. He should be killed. Okay, then.
Spike down A.
Finds a beautiful headshot.
Enemy remaining.
Triples that up, and it's only Rafa left to maybe fight off an army, which he does not expect where is going to be seated. And Paradox swings by for the operator as well. Match point, and ladies and gentlemen, bind looks inevitable.
Yep, that's it. Bind is going to be the final map. We are going to the decider for Revenant. everyone has been having an amazing field day right now. Everyone is getting those skills. Para just got that 4K. And from the looks of it, yeah, I mean, look at the scorecard, 22 for
Right
Blackhawk,
here.
9
You want to
deaths.
play?
Oof.
Let's
He
play.
has been really like Mr. Consistent. Now this time though, Sensei finds the opener. Chamber versus Chamber. The Tour de Force gets the opening, and Revenant are left without one of their key members of the roster. Lethal Esports have the advantage. Problem for Lethal is that Revenant Esports have all the time in the world. Revenant have 7 rounds and they just need to secure one of them. And Lethal Esports, every round has to be their
Oh,
final
Android.
from the looks of it. And it goes down, look, just a
Loki.
Blackhawk. Look at that trade fire. Look at the crossfire, the trades were there, and Rafa is now the only member alive, even he goes down. It's the support players on the side of Revenant Esports who close out the second map, and it's all smiles on their faces. Finally, Revenant Esports, they're back into it. You compare this to how they were feeling after the map of Split. Both the teams, they have taken their emotions and they have turned it upside down. Unbind is going to be the final map. That's for certain.
Yeah, it is going to be the final map. We will see Lethal and Revenant go at it on the final map. And I expected nothing less from both of these teams. We were going to expect the third map to come out of this. We will be seeing a third map to see who is going to be the first grand finalist of the TEC Community Cup. But so far, a dominating second map. I knew that Fracture is a Revenant map as well, but I thought that Lethal would be on top of things over here. But unfortunately, Android and Lucia were just not having it today. I don't know what happened on the second map, but Android just dropped like a huge amount of confidence. He was on top of the cliff in the previous game, and here he just fell right off. The previous game was a full rounded spherical team effort, completely smoothened out, but here it was a very rocky start for them and a rocky end as well. They just could not keep up with what happened and what Revenant were throwing at them. That Sage was a menace in the hands of Logi, as was Paradox with that Neon. Just brilliant
Oh,
stuff overall. And my
yeah.
word, these guys are just on the top of things right now. But let's go to the highlights as we talk about this, because the one man who actually deserves a highlight reel is Blackhawk.
Oh, really? Yeah. I mean, Blackhawk, he definitely had his like shining moments where he got many kills in a specific round. But overall, he definitely was, like I said, Mr. Consistent, because every single round he got those kills. No matter what the time, no matter what the place, he closed it for his team. And he may not have been the person on whom the spotlight was shown through and through, but he still had a severe impact and a very influential impact on the course of the map of Fracture. So, keeping that in mind, he deserves all the praise. And yeah, after this, we'll be taking a look at the scorecard as well. We'll be seeing numbers and statistics, and 100% Blackhawk, he will be the MVP. But overall, from the side of Lethal Esports, Sensei also had a great map. I was really looking forward to the Chamber versus Chamber that was going on. We had the head to head between Sensei and Knight Rider in the pre match presentation before map number 1. And definitely, this rivalry did not disappoint us. There were many times one of the chambers killed the other, and both the lads, they had good performances. I mean, they did leave their mark on the server as is. And be it attack or be it defense, the operator and the Torde force just could never be snatched out of their hands. You would always find the chambers with those. But that's just chamber for you, man. That's yeah, leveled up. But overall, Revenant definitely had a far more comfortable time on this map. They knew what Lethal Esports would bring out. They were prepared for it, just like how Lethal had done their homework on R&D on the map of Split. Equally, Lethal got read like a book by the members of Revenant. And now Bind is where the unpredictability lies, and Bind is where you never really know which team in the end is going to take the cake regardless.
Indeed. Lethal Esports took a heavy beating on the map that they thought that they were going to probably get on top of. And moments like these where Paradox, when he's stunned and he's still killing people and they're doing so much damage back and forth. It's just disheartening to see at times, and to lose it out 13 and 5 is an even more of a situation which might be putting it down for them. But hey, all said and done, just need to forget this map of fracture. Now
Yep.
it's a clean slate. One map to go. Bind, ladies and gentlemen, the one that we're going to be seeing to settle this once and for all. And whether or not this is going to be working out in the favor of Lethal is a question mark that I think is turning out to be quite big in size, because I really believe that they had the best of chances to finish this off, but a little bit of a slump in the consistency on fracture from what they did on split kind of just went straight down the drain, and now they're having to work their way back up again on the final map. Let's have a look at the numbers as who is going to be the MVP, which I believe should be Blackhawk. 24 kills, that man, league of his own. And even though Paradox did so much, Logista did quite a bit, it was Blackhawk who just absolutely took the entire team by storm.
100%. Average combat score nearing 360, average damage of 234. Oof, that's a lot. The only person in comparison to that is like Logista. Logista. But overall, boy oh boy, like the members of Revenant, this was just sheer domination from their side. And Lethal Esports, they tried to get back up, but unfortunately the shortcomings of Android, like you had mentioned, Universe, just didn't allow them to get the most out of the map. Maybe he just wasn't too comfortable on Neon, you never really know. But one person who was really comfortable was the match MVP. Let's see who it is. Our guess is it's going to be, yep, it's going to be Blackhawk. Makes a lot of sense why he has been chosen. 358 average combat score, 24 kills and 9 deaths. That's almost a KD of like 3, just like 2.7, 2.8, something like that. 2 first bloods. I don't think the first bloods matter a lot, since he wasn't playing a role which would usually be on the forefront of the attack or the defense. He wasn't the chamber, wasn't the neon. Still, 2 first bloods, ADR 234, and overall Revenant, amazing time they had on Fracture. Let's have a look at the map veto and see and get an overview of how this entire series has been going so far. We can see split 13-9 going in favor of Lethal. 13-5 was the score on Fracture. Revenant took it, and Bind is going to be the decider map. So essentially, as I always say, this best of 3 has been turned into a glorified best of 1 from this point forward. Whatever has happened previously doesn't matter right now. Bind is what is up for grabs. But before we go into Bind, we'll be taking a very, very short break. Make sure in this break, scan the QR code, get some Red Bull delivered to your doorstep, go in the description, get some products from our sponsors. We'll be right back. Stay tuned and keep watching.
You're all I need. You're all. You're all. You're all I need. You're all I need. You're all. You're all. You're all I need. You're all. You're all. You're all I need. If you would keep me waiting, I would wait a lifetime. In tricky situations, I will be a lifeline. Nobody's meant to be fighting alone. That's why I'm taking you home. I never felt something like this before, I know. Keep coming back for your time after time.
Hey guys, welcome back to the LG Ultragear presents TEC Community Cup. And it's been quite an interesting two maps that we've seen so far between these two teams. And while we have seen two very distinctively different performances, while Split was a little bit more close-ended, Fracture was a demolition from the side of Revenant. Now we go to Bind, and Bind is a very interesting map, and we will be heading into it without any sort of delays. We should be starting in just a couple of seconds. But before we do start Bind, I want to ask you, CC, what do you think is going to happen? Who are we going to see as our first finalist? I had to do it to you, man.
Wow. I will go with the Revenant just because they have the momentum of winning the map of Fracture in a very comfortable manner as well, 13-5. But we did see after Split that, when Lethal took the win, they got absolutely thrashed on the second map. So you never know, maybe this is the redemption arc for the side of Lethal Esports. But if I had to guess, just based on pure instinct without any historical data and all that, I would go with the Revenant for this very reason. But that's pretty much it. It's a very loose theory that I have. I just want to see some Valorant, and I just want to see which team will be our first grand finalist, which team will be securing a chunk out of the prize pool of 150,000. Because again, all the viewers watching, only the top two teams will be getting a share of the prize pool. The winners of the Community Cup, they'll be going home with 1 lakh rupees. The runners up, they'll be getting 50,000 rupees. If you are third and onwards, unfortunately, you will be out of the mix. And after today, actually, we'll only have 3 more teams. Our second match of the day Prime 5 against Medal Esports. That's going to be a lower bracket matchup that will be to determine that which team exactly gets eliminated and which team faces off the loser of the current matchup in the lower bracket finals to get a spot in the grand finale. Very interesting. Is going to be a very entertaining day. But overall, yeah, Bind, excellent ender to it. Bind, always a very chaotic map. And on Bind, from what I've seen, either Bind it goes into like a very, very one-sided win, or it goes like almost overtime like situations, 13-10s, 13-11s, and whatnot. So keeping that in mind, I'm really looking forward to seeing it. I want to see the Asian compositions as well. Will we finally see a Killjoy brought out, or is Chamber going to be picked for 3 times in a row? As for the duelist as well, is there going to be Neon once again by both the rosters, or are we going to be seeing Android again on the race? For Android, I think he will be on the race. Does make sense. He definitely prefers that agent a lot more. He was a lot more comfortable on the map of Split than he was on Fracture. But the question is,
Yep.
for Para, is he gonna go for the raise, or will he stick to the Neon? And that will obviously lead to very interesting scenarios in the controller market as well. Brimstone, I don't think will be chosen. We should go back to Omen, as is the case always. So all of that very interesting scenarios. I am just waiting for the map of Bind to be started and for the agent compositions and the selections to be readied up as well.
Yeah, I think that the Rays might or might not be picked here, because I think that Revenant usually have this tendency where they go for the other sided roster. They could go for the Neon, which I believe is a pretty good pick on this map as well. I think it's not at all something that you will consider not a pick on this map. And
Yeah.
yeah, let's just find out if at all that Neon is going to be in the hands of Paradox, because he's pretty good on quite a bit of these agents, especially the duelists.
Yeah.
He's pretty good on Jet. He could go for the raise as well, but let's figure it out once we head into the agent selection, ladies and gentlemen, which should be starting in just about 5 seconds, as we have got the players locked and loaded in. And here we go, the Neon. Oh,
Jet.
forgive me, we have a Yoru. All right,
Also, that.
all right. I like this, a Jet and a
Oh.
Yoru combination. No
No Sentinel.
Sentinels. All right, this is very interesting from Lethal. I did not
Absolutely.
expect this. I've never seen a lineup like this on Bind, ever.
Yeah, Bind, no Sentinel. I mean, there have been very few times where you go on Bind without a Sentinel, but that's mainly if you're playing like double controller, double
controller.
duelist.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is-
yeah. And that's old meta. That's like Viper Astra domination meta. That hasn't
Yeah.
been in the play for a while. Very interesting. Yoru makes me very excited, but at the same time, definitely reminds me I need to go back to like Valorant Wikipedia and look up Yoru's abilities and their names, because I have forgotten them since I have casted Yoru. Never have I played Yoru. Never. So he's a stranger to me. I have to look up the abilities and their names. I know what they do. It's just the names, man. As a caster, gotta get a grip on those essentially. But yeah, overall, from the side of Lethal Esports, they have thrown a curveball. And this is a curveball that's going to swing 360 degrees, probably surround Revenant and spin their heads round and round, thinking what the logic behind this is. And I'm trying to figure out the logic as well, because you've got the Fade, you've got two initiators, which is going to be Fade and Sky. No Sova, no Breach. Okay, no Sova still kind of makes sense, but no Breach. Okay. And yeah, Lethal Esports, they're ready for it. Revenant, how do they reply back? As the execute is already looking to be taking place, everyone is concussed by the fault line. Blackhawk can't get the kills. He is there in U-Halls. And before he could go for the flash, Sensei gets the headshot. That's the first player gone, and Lethal
Oh,
Esports are
Mazel.
continuing with this attack.
Watch out!
Well, here we go. Wimp and Loki do get two back though, and they're looking for more, but Sensei turns around and slaps Paradox in the face. So we've got Revenant falling, and Lethal Esports, they've turned up the heat here. They're going on full attack mode, it seems, and the attack is exactly where they can make the difference. Two initiators, two duelists. You need to find as many rounds as possible on the attack, because on the defense, it's not going to be that easy, man.
Absolutely not. It's really not going to be easy for their side. having no sentinel is going to be a very like difficult situation on defense, and more so the fact that you have like two duelists and one of them is Yoru. Like figuring your way around it is going to be difficult. But for the time being, same execute from the side of Lethal Esports. They've got better weaponry. They brute force their way into the A bomb side. The Trailblazer and the Prowler spots a Blackhawk. Sensei gets rid of one, and Lucia from A main gets rid of Krista as well. That's the cycle on lockdown. No, Paradox had one surprise up his sleeve. That was the kill with the shorty. Wim, extends it further with a kill with the classic, but that said, Revenant Esports can't get a grip on their eco round as well. They survive off, they move on, and now is the time when RNT will get the better weaponry. For Lethal, what is their response? Are Rafa and Sensei, are they looking to go for like expensive guns, go for rifles? Probably not. No, it's Spectres all around and a Frenzy. They're just waiting it out. They're going for a proper bonus round, and then they'll move on forward and get those rifles in round number 4. But so far, explosive start for Lethal.
Go, go, go.
Indeed, Paradox going towards that shower region to get it cleared, but he also has somebody walking in. He will take down Android. While there are a little bit of spaces to execute and maybe find themselves a little looking for it to walk with, Paradox, too much pressure onto him that he will drop dead. And while the plant does go down, Rafa takes one hit from that aftershock, and that's about it. Plant goes down. Revenant again on the back end of stuff here. They will have resistance coming from 2 different angles. There's one on Ben Sensei who's just spamming across. Nightrider will take out on Lucia. And that's no smokes available, but it's still a 3v3. 2 players on 1 player on each side is pretty damn low. But Blackhawk will take care of Marcel. Metal takes care of Sensei. And now it's on to Rafa. Rafa gets one. No, he will not. I thought that was almost a kill. But it's Nightrider just going down to 20 HP. And the buy round will suffice because
They didn't actually
Lethal were put to a stop. They get the plant. They get a lot of extra money. They take down even Paradox and Logi. So damage done, as well as plant in the hands. So complete and fully executed full buy should be coming into their hands now.
Oh, for the side of Lethal Esports, yeah, they can afford that full buy. Revenant as well, still suffering the loss of their 2 members in the previous round. You can see Paradox, Judge, Logista also Judge. It is bind after all. Close quarter combat reigns supreme. Lethal Esports, from the looks of it, finally looking to target the B bomb side. We can see the crash gate of Yoru. Yes, that's a signature ability, crash gate. I knew that. And is going to be moving forward. The Prowler goes through for Fade, looking for info. Vim right around the corner for Flash. No, he can't land the shots, unfortunately. That was a big risk he took, and it hasn't paid off. And Revenant, they will be paying the debts of this for a long time, because Paradox is another casualty in the mix. They still have the Astra on Hookah, but the remaining 2 players entering from the defender spawn, it's going to be difficult for them to survive against the barrage of utility Lethal will throw at their foot.
Logi needs to be careful. Oh, Logi! You had a judge in the perfect spot. You could have absolutely destroyed Rafa there. But instead, it's going to be Lethal to find themselves every single one of the players left. What a start from Lethal. Absolutely aggressively dominant. And they are finding themselves everything that they need. Rounds, kills, as well as space. It all comes hand in hand, all directly proportional to each other. And Lethal, with just a little bit of brute force on Android and Sensei, they make it work as everybody else follows up. A very, very interesting lineup that seems to be working out for them. Prowler only good for the information, and Paradox will be shut down. Loki gets dropped, but Blackhawk finds 2, an ultimate to work with. He will not move past that region. That dog bite should have actually killed him, but it still keeps him a little bit congestion. Here we go. The sky comes back. Rafa holds onto the ground. Nightrider coming from the backstab, and then now focusing towards that spawn region to maybe find Wimp. And Wimp While he does have control, he doesn't have support. Knight Rider comes in at the right time. And now he's found two pretty easily. Sensei spots him. There's a damage difference of 50 because Sensei has his full armor. Forgive me, not full armor, has 17 armor. But they're close to each other's HPs. One's 101 and one's 100. And Sensei has run away towards the B side. Knight Rider, not entirely aware of this, could be waiting to check his corners. But that sound of the spike plant should be exactly what he needs. Sensei moving away now. Takes out his teleporter so he cannot even get away if need be. And rotates back towards elbow. He's heard him running in. And this is all about the timing. And Sensei's on top of it. Pretty well done. He has an idea. Knight Rider, just the idea was coming a little too late because he was not sure whether elbow was covered or not. And with that, Lethal find their fourth and throw Revenant yet again into a bit of a mix. While Revenant do have a buy still going on in their hands, it's not going to be around for too long. They lose this, or they lose players in general, they're going to have a tough time with their economy. But Lethal have money for at least 2 more rounds.
Yeah, for the side of Lethal Esports, they've got more ultimates than Revenant, they've got more credits than Revenant. They are in the best position possible, but then again, this is their attack. They need to have a very strong half if they want to survive whatever will happen on their defense. So, keeping that in mind, Paradox. Oh, no, he's entirely flashed. Mr. Sensei this time lands the shot on the muzzle before he straight it out. Wimp. Is he going to push forward? Yes, he does. He swings wide alongside Blackhawk. And once more, the second wave of attackers from the side of Lethal Esports, they also go down in the trenches. The spike has been dropped in no man's land. And the attackers don't have a lot of area to work with the exception of Android, who can take a gunfight. Yes, he does.
Very much
wins
necessary.
one duel.
Time to jump.
It really was. Still hasn't taken the spike. And I don't think Revenant are aware of this. Now Android will go on cleanup duty. Goes to A through the teleporter.
Perfect. Amazing
And yeah,
stuff.
Revenant have no idea so far.
I'm back.
Yeah, well, now they do. They rotated instantly. The spike going down, and now it is the Sky and Yoru duo to finish this off. Logi has 2 stars available to him, and he can clear out or at least initiate the attacks towards U-Haul if required. But he's walking in just with his aim in his hands, and that's a troublesome duel. It is going to be Knight Rider to take him down instantly. And now Knight Rider has no clue as to where his opponent is. Flashes available. 2 of them actually. Rafa holds on. Doesn't even need to give it out to Knight Rider, but he will. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, it is yet again Lethal with another successfully executed round, which might have had a little bit of adaptability, but yet again, that last 1v1 goes again in the favor of the attack.
That's it. Yeah. So, Rafa securing, waiting for it, and yep, as we saw, got the kill in the end. Lethal Esports have the advantage in a large manner because now, as you had said, Universe, had Revenant lost the previous round, they will be in economic trouble, and economic troubles arrive for them. So, Lethal Esports, they've got plenty of advantages, and they're just waiting it out, you know, not taking really close for the gunfights. Marzel, though, excellent wait, cut the corner right there, check out all the angles, and now that's
brilliant.
Lineup, yeah, really good lineup. The Revenant still seem to be struggling. The one Spectre that they have, it gets the kill. Blackhawk has been doing an exceptional job from this U-Haul's corner. He has been targeting this execute of Lethal Esports, but never has he been able to fully stop it. The spike always goes down, and it's the same story in this round as well.
Right out on the backstab, only good for 1, and now it's only Blackhawk left. 1v3, and it's a very difficult 1v3 indeed with the weapon that he has in his hands, and of course he's been slowly damaged across every single possible side except for Vandal, but he does not have the idea of where Sensei could be. Swings out though, and Sensei will put him out of his misery. 1-6, and this is exactly the scoreline which we had on Fracture.
Yeah. And if Fracture was an indication, it was that the team who had the scoreline, they ended up winning. The first half went their way. The second half, they just secured it even further. We saw the cursed scoreline, but guess what? Again, since there is no such thing as the curse on Fracture, Revenant were able to secure the win. Now, for Lethal Esports, they just want as much of a gap as possible. They want the most advantage, and they'll do anything for it. Sensei!
Sensei!
He was in shot.
He was in perpetual motion. He was going back and forth, and he still hit that. And now Paradox, oh man, he's been heard and completely deleted as well. Brilliant stuff. Out goes Blackhawk as well. This is just absolutely throwing them into the gutter right now. Revenant have no response whatsoever on this map of Find. And Lethal are just rampaging through everything. Every single person on Lethal is on fire right now. And they're just walking through these bomb sites as if it's their own to, go ahead and take.
Revenant, this is the 5th round they've lost in a row. Round loss bonus is at its maximum, so after every single round the players are receiving like 2,900 credits, so which is why they're able to afford the rifles again. The operator has been brought out. There's also a judge that we can see. It's not about the guns, man, it's about the gun fights. And for Revenant, they've been losing almost all of them. Again, Sensei, this time the wall blocks him off. He cannot retreat safely. Or was that a body block by Marzel? Regardless of what that was, that sentry fragger now gone. Revenant have the advantage. Paradox will be good for one. It was a shot in Lethal Esports. They cannot brute force their way into the A-bomb site. Not in this scenario. Not when they only have 3 members and they don't know what lies within in the bomb site. How much utility, how many members do RNT have? These are questions people are trying to answer, but in doing so, they're losing their lives. The TP happens. Marzel swings wide and that's one magazine, 2 kills. Now Marzel needs to get another 1 versus 2, but it's not 1 magazine, 2 kills. It's 1 player, 2 opponents, but both of them. I mean, well, one of them on severely low HP and the other on full.
Yeah, Marzel is taking a very long route, and he does not have quite the time that he would expect that he would have. And look at the motion of both of the players on the defense. They're moving exactly expecting the same. They don't know if Marcel's going to come out from the other side. And Knight Rider on literally a strand of hair HP. His trap will allow for...
One enemy remaining.
Marcel!
Oh my god! What?
You can't, Keelan. I'll find you.
Wow. Marzel.
Oh.
Insane stuff from this man right here. 25 HP and 2 headshots. Like, he just absolutely was in the right zone to do the right thing. And he did it with so much ease. It was as if it was not even a troublesome thing for him. He knew exactly what he was doing. Crisp, clean, and the best of what we've seen from the man himself, Agneya Kaushik. Paradox this time takes out Android along with his decoy, and that B long push has been instantly put to a halt. While Paradox is only good for 1 with his ultimate, he's trying to spam across to find something more. He will not. He's going to run out of juice pretty soon, and he will run out of his life as well. Marzel is just on a roll on this map. He's loving the fade, and he's loving this map as well. Blackhawk has been blinded and deafened. He will be killed as well, and Marzel's just on a roll. He's unstoppable. He's not able to be put down right now, and there's nothing at the moment that can stop him except for himself.
As the saying goes, the night is dark and full of terrors. Marzel goes for the nightfall, brings Night Sky right here into the sunny setting of Bind, and again, Lethal Esports, they have the advantage. Logista has the X Factor though. I don't think Lethal have realized where he's going to be pushing from. Seems to be a pincer move. Wimp and Logista, they'll be peeking, but Rafa isolates 1 gunfight, catches Wimp off guard, completely red-handed, and Logista cannot secure a kill for himself, a triple kill for Marzel, even though Paradox started off in really excellent fashion with that ultimate. Could not be. Revenant are struggling in Lethal Esports. Boy, oh boy. They are ready for this. This is their
9-1.
map. Yup.
Yeah,
They can
9-1
reach
up.
double
Who
digits in the
expected
first
this?
half.
Exactly.
Nobody.
Did you expect this? Nobody thought.
Why did you
this is
ask me
gonna
the
be
question,
case.
Universe? Who did I think was going to win? Why do you ask me the question? I'm going to look like the biggest idiot right now. But I am, but like, I'm still going to look like it. So yeah.
I mean, playing the part, all the same. Knight Rider gets a great kill. Logi actually adds on to that tally. And a 9-3 half looking like it could come into play over here. There goes the flash, but Logi is not a complete
Fake teleport.
stranger to this maneuver. Rafa gets one kill, blinds Knight Rider. They know he's on the back side, and Android will shut him down even before the scope comes out to his eyes. And Blackhawk, one very strong ultimate available, and he will utilize it. The plant will go down. He tries to get the aftershock to damage somebody. Wimp will get Android though, as the Seekers will give positional value. They know where Lucia is. They know where Rafa is. Now they need to do is kill them. But Lucia's prepared. Lucia's gonna be a monster. And Lucia, looking for the third, has done probably enough to damage the final one. It doesn't even matter that it wall's up. Rafa's just gonna wait and hold on. He doesn't care. The defuse is being stuck at least to the half region. And Rafa will secure double digits. What looked like it could have been a 9-3 half
Last round
has been
before the
stunted and given rise to what is the most lethal form of the Lethal Esports boys.
Ooh, for Revenant. I mean, how do you come back from this? The thing is, yes, I always say the side swap shakes things up, but when the margin for error is like 0.001%, when you can only lose like one round in your second half, because when you look at the Lethal, you get like 11 rounds or so. It's very difficult. Paradox again, the Prowler gets him and he's concussed. Mo needs to fall back. He is marked. He goes back, but Sensei hunts him down. That's a second headshot for him. A third. 3 headshots for this Jet. And that's the round pretty much over, because what can Wimp really do? His position is known. He's all alone. Utility, yeah, sure, he has a bit of utility. But when you're against 3 blood-hungry attackers, you can't escape this. Marzel secures the round. Beautiful entries by this Jet. And let's just have a look at this replay, man. That's 1 for Sensei, 2 updraft hits, headshot connects, and the round is a victory.
That is so satisfying to watch, and he must have felt so good about that. Brilliant stuff from Sensei. Marzel on top of things as well. Rafa to hit on. While Android and Lucia still on the lower end of things, they are giving value in the best form possible.
Exactly.
Lucia has 9 assists. And Android, he's just doing the baiting work as the Yoru. He's just doing everything he can to support his team to get those kills. And being 11-1 up, he's not going to care about whether he has 7 kills, 5, or even 1. He cares that his teammates are at 11 and the opponents are, well, short of 1 digit in that number.
Ooh. Alright, side swap is here. Paradox already down to 23 HP.
Yep.
As the entry fragger, gotta be careful, my man. You're against Classics. He gets one excellent flash. Works for Revenant. And Sensei cannot stay alive in the side any longer. A side is for Revenant, and from the looks of it, this round, well within their rights. Android, though, from Showers can swing wide. That's 1 headshot onto Knight Rider. He was low on HP. Another pop dash.
Oh, Android!
Another kill. This is possible. It's a 2v2.
It most certainly is. Paradox is pretty damn low on health, but he's still finding so much value. There's one more low. Rafa, he's got this in the bag. Now they've got a crossfire set up. The flash comes through. Rafa with 1. Turns around for the spike, but he did not go for the kill on the Paradox for some reason. Very close round, but Paradox clutches this round for his team with 23 HP from the start of the round itself. He tried to keep himself close to the walls, and precise aiming allows him to find the second round, but still They are an entire world away from their opponents.
Yeah. The seven C's separate Revenant and Lethal right now. Lethal Esports buffer period of like 9 rounds. They're just gonna go for a full-on intro. They don't have any obligation to force their way in. Sense, okay, or maybe a little over-ego on those skills. But still, doesn't mean that it's a lot too much, because yeah, Lethal already know and everyone knows this round shouldn't go their way. They didn't have the better weaponry. Lucia, the Shorty also not going in his favor. Spike goes down. The team in red really confidently able to
enemy
secure the
remaining.
round. Marzel will be good for 1 kill, but I think that's pretty much it. From behind, it's a mid-range gunfight. That's like, what, 16 HP tag for Logista. Yeah, simple round. Revenant will be taking the cake, but now is where things start to get a bit more heated up. Because Lethal Esports, full buy for their side.
should play some
And
Astro
Revenant,
Stars in this reality.
they only have 1 round to spare. They can only lose 1 round before Lethal reach match point. And then 2 more, Lethal Esports will be your first grand finalists.
Lethal have taken the long route to get so far. They lost the map in between that they were very confident upon. But that fade, where even did that haunt go? Detected 4 of them. And now they're just gonna be lurking around their own trails, those black lines that have put a very big black line to their plans, striked it down. Now they're gonna have to play a little bit carefully. And Rafa!
What?
That spray transfer was absolutely immaculate. Gets 2 as if it was nothing. And he's on the roll. Everybody from the side of Lethal are just turning up the heat so much. Marzel, of course, he's not going to miss. He's not missed. Well, he's missed barely 2 or 3 shots so far in the entire game of Bind. Lucia to cover him up. Brilliant teamwork. And Lethal cannot be stopped, ladies and gentlemen.
Shots.
1
Dude,
round
these
away.
shots.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
They just woke up. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching right now. Yoru, Jet, Sky, Fade, and Brimstone. The next thing on the map of Bind. The next roster, the next lineup of agents that you gotta try out.
The previous round, all 5 kills Lethal got, all 5 of them headshots. If that is not a better indication that they are hitting absolutely nutty flicks right now, I don't think what is. Every single kill of theirs is like, oh man, the bullets, they're just connecting, and Revenant have no reply. This may be it. This may very well be the final round of this long anticipated best of 3 Lethal Esports. What can be considered a major upset over the likes of Revenant Esports. Still, Revenant, maybe there's a chance, who knows, but in order for that chance to happen, they need to win 9 rounds consecutively. This round also seems like a struggle. Paradox is gone, Blackhawk eliminated, and yes, Revenant members are flooding the bomb site. They have eliminated the likes of Lethal Esports, but the retake is still on. Many members of Revenant are low on HP. The Cosmic Divide does buy them enough time. They can heal themselves. The spike has been planted, and this may be a sign of better times, but you still don't know for certain.
I'll find you. Mark 3.
Oh, they've spotted out all 3 of them. And they've taken out 1, they've taken out 2, and they've
my
taken out all
God.
3.
Defenders win.
Ladies and gentlemen, your grand finalists for the TEC Community Cup. Lethal Esports. And what a goddamn performance to get there as well. 13-2. Forgive me, 13-3.
Yep.
It doesn't even matter what that number is, man. They are just absolutely stunning. These set of players deservedly go through, and the faces on the side of Revenant are, as expected, very, very disappointed. They did not expect this. They did not know this was going to happen. But Bind seems to be a map that they would want to ban in the next series, because they will be facing the next team from the lower bracket, which is going to be either Medal or Prime 5. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, Lethal Esports have taken the step to getting themselves a minimum of 50,000 for their efforts so far. An unbeaten streak in the upper brackets deservedly get them the grand final spot.
Can be an undefeated streak in the entirety of the Community Cup? That is the question now. If they win the grand finals, undefeated through and through. But overall,
Yep.
boy oh boy, Lethal Esports, man. Split, alright, they showed, and the thing is, the Lethal Esports, they showed their prowess um, through and through. Yeah, they struggled a bit in the middle. Like fracture wasn't definitely theirs, but that was like really because of the fact that Revenant 100% did their homework. And Lethal Esports, I guess now they just have to focus on fracture and make sure this doesn't happen again. But who will they be facing in the grand finals? This question will be answered today and tomorrow. Today, after this, very, very soon at 8 p.m., in just over like 45 minutes, we'll have a lower bracket matchup between Middle and Prime 5 to see who goes up against Revenant in the lower bracket finals. Tomorrow, we have said lower bracket finals and then grand finales there on Saturday. So, Lethal Esports, they'll take a big a breath of relief, and we'll take a look at the highlights to see how the map of Bind went, or as I like to call them, the highlights of Lethal Esports and all of the 4Ks and headshots and whatnot they hit. Because these guys, they popped off since like round number one. I mean, yeah, okay, yeah. Overall, maybe earlier, on pistols and all, it was a lot more of the team effort, but we saw that individual excellence shining through the likes of Lethal, and Revenant had no counter for that, unfortunately. Revenant tried everything. They were very desperate, but 13-3, yeah, goes to show Lethal had pure domination on Bind.
Indeed. And with this, ladies and gentlemen, as much as you can relish these highlights, go ahead and do it, because Lethal Esports should be patting themselves on the back with this performance. Mazel and Rafa, along with Sensei, were on the absolute best of their powers. They were untouched, uncontested. All three of them on top of the leaderboard as well. 20 for Mazel, 17 for Sensei, 16 for Rafa. And what an amazing showcase by these three. Just absolute brilliant stuff. Sensei constantly being supported by Mazel as well as Rafa, and Rafa and Mazel just fragging out like this as we just saw. I don't even remember there was a single round where Mazel just got one kill and died. I think every time he killed somebody, it was a multi-kill round, man. Like Mazel was on an absolutely different plane of existence in this map of Mind.
Oh, truly. Yeah, for the side of Lethal, everyone got their fair share of kills. But overall, they must be delighted how this map specifically went. Overall, in the BO3, a little no work is to be done, like I said, fracture, but their performance is really shining. I mean, look at this stuff from Sensei, the triple headshot Bladestorm. There was the round where Lethal Esports got all 5 kills as their headshots with the rifles. Revenant, no match. The pistol, helped Revenant definitely. They slowed down, they halted Lethal Esports. It still didn't mean it was going to be like a well fought out round. And unfortunate as is for RNT. They're still, they have a chance to go in the grand finale. They have a chance at redemption. Their revenge arc may begin right now, but they have to improve immensely as to what exactly took place just here on the map of Split and here on Bind. But overall, excellent first best of three that we had. We started at like 4:30 p.m. We end at like 7:30. So like, yeah, a best of three lasting 3 hours. Definitely the players as well will be exhausted with how these matches have been going, with the stakes that were in place. But overall, thoroughly deserved win for the side of Lethal Esports. I am really excited to see them in the grand finals now, because the grand finals, they're going to be a best of 5. And what that means is the fact that you never really know exactly, what kind of maps are going to be picked up. Maybe we'll see a split and fracture again. Also depends on who their opponents are. Because if it's Revenant, I don't think we'll be seeing a lot of the maps we saw today. I think maybe a couple of them may be banned out. But if it's Medal, if it's Prime 5, you never really know what's up for game.
Yeah, well, There's a lot at stake here, and Lethal have got
Mm-hmm.
themselves at least a chance to get themselves a part of that stake. Now Revenant need
Right.
to hold on to their ground, reconfigure themselves, wait for their opponent to come to them, and get themselves on the board. But yeah, this has been quite an unexpected series so far. Both the teams picking up their opponents' pick and then going on to the last map. Lethal just tore through every nook and corner. I think the one and only
Mm-hmm.
way that they could have maybe come against this lineup, which I don't think they expected at all, was if there was a KO involved. That KO, his knives, his ultimate, could have probably made the
Mm-hmm.
difference. Maybe could have made the difference. I'm
Right.
not entirely sure, but you would need a little working around, obviously. But this was not expected by anybody. This double initiator, double
Exactly.
duelist composition. Hats off to Lethal. Brilliantly worked out and well executed. And honestly, they did everything
Yep.
right for them to get this 13-3 victory. And if we look at the numbers, as we will in just about a minute, it has to be Mazel, the MVP, man. That guy just deserves every bit of the praise because he was an absolute scary monster on Fade. The agent itself being
Yeah.
scary and add Mazel onto it. Wow.
Boy, man, Marvel, Sensei, everyone just had the best time of their lives essentially on this map. And you know for a fact that Lethal had this like planned out because he's seeing the best of three. This was the final map, right? This was the decider map. So Lethal, I think they had thought about this composition, but I haven't seen this comp at all previously. I mean, I don't know if they've played it or not. Maybe in their dry runs, definitely. Who knows? In a couple of their like personal private scrims, they may have against various other teams. But in a broadcasted environment, to my knowledge, this is one of the very few times they've brought it out. So keeping that in mind, yeah, they had this hidden ace up their sleeves and they played it,
Yep.
and it worked miracles for their side. And they will be the ones ending up, with the jackpot. They will be going home securing at least 50,000 rupees for themselves. But goes to show that teams have a lot of surprises up their sleeves. Who knows? Maybe Revenant go for a map we haven't seen before or they haven't played a lot on before, and they'll be trying to take the win there. Many questions are there, but absolutely, thoroughly, what an amazing performance we had. And all the players, they really stepped up the mark in one way or another throughout the course of this BO3. Revenant and their members, excellent stuff on Fracture. For Lethal, they had Split, they had Bind, and it was truly a team effort that secured the win for LE. Individual performances, they shine, but it was the core structure of their roster. It was the entire compositions, even on the first map, that allowed Lethal to secure those wins.
Yeah, indeed. Lethal put on a show for the ages, and this should be one of the best performances that we've seen in the Community Cup. But Revenant, pretty sure that they will not let this get to their head. I will expect them to be the running force to come back into the final because that's what I expected. Let's go to the numbers, but while we talk about this, because Revenant's numbers not as great as they would expect. Logista,
Yep.
Wimp, Blackhawk not having the best of games. They were able to put up just a few, and those few were just not enough to get them even past the number three. And that's just one digit out of what the side of Lethal have put up. They've got a dominating, decimating win here, and of course, Mazel is the MVP of this map. He should be given that deservingly. Sensei, Rafa, look at those numbers, man. That's exactly what I was talking about earlier. 20 kills, 17, 16. Two players with over 300 ACS. Brilliant stuff overall. And the support from both Lucia and Android when they required them was top notch.
Definitely. Let's have a look at the match MVP. Yeah, both of us, thinking it's going to be Marzil. It will be Marzil. The Fade. In a composition which had two duelists, it's the Fade where it gets the MVP, but still goes to show the performance that Marzil had. Oh, amazing stuff right there. 314 average combat score, 20 kills. That's over a KD of 3, almost like 3.3. I don't know math, but like, yeah, over a KD of 3, 192 as the average damage. Oh, he had just a tear of a day. And it was not just his, kills as well. Every single time we saw the Prowler, like many a times we saw someone like Paradox getting like concussed by it or getting hit by the Prowler just because of how quickly it hit him. And the information it gained was also really good. Not to mention the fact that it was used in synchronization with the Trailblazer. So you had the Prowler, you had the Trailblazer, and everything just led into this amazing bit of utility and information for the side of Lethal. But overall, this was a long best of three. Let's have a look at the series MVP. Let's see who takes the cake. My money is on Marzel or Sensei as well. Yeah, 51 kills and 40 deaths. He breaks the 50 kill barrier, and this definitely is going to elevate his position in the overall MVP standings as well of the tournament.
Yeah, it is going to be Sensei to get himself a little bit extra push. He does have 11 first bloods across 3 maps, which is quite a number for him. And of course, the KDA, brilliant. The functioning duelist, as he did well, gets him at the numbers that he requires to get himself probably on the second place. Maybe give the competition to AZ and put him up on first. I think Sensei should be on number 1, given that he is the series MVP here as well. ACS of 260, and that's about it. Yep, he deserves it given his numbers. And as we look at the overarching storyline, ladies and gentlemen, going from split to bind, it has been just a game of decreasing numbers on the bottom end. 9, 5, and 3. Every map, it just became better and better performance from one team. But in the end, it was Lethal who put out the final performance to be taken in to the grand final.
Yep, overall, amazing stuff right here. Very, very odd kind of scores. All the numbers are odd, but these teams, they were evenly matched against each other. And the entire competition is very evenly matched against each other, especially the players. Let's have a look at the MVP standings and see that out of these star performers, who is still playing the best. And for the time being, according, Ezzy at the top of the charts, 270 average combat score. Very, very soon, he'll be crossing that 100 kill mark as well, just like the rest of his buddies have. And yeah, as you know, we'll be seeing medal against Prime 5, as he will 100% be crossing that. As of a Paradox, he is second in position going down into the lower bracket finals. He will have a difficult time because it's going to be do or die for him and Knight Rider. But still, good to see that the members of Revenant, they've got 2 of their members in the MVP standings. They've had good performances, just a loss they've severed on the hands of Sensei, who's at place number 3. Let's have a look at the brackets and see the overarching storyline of the Community Cup. And we can see that, yeah, the upper brackets, Lethal Esports, still undefeated. They defeated Prime 5, they defeated Medal Esports, they defeated Revenant Esports. And universe, guess who their potential opponents are going to be? Either Prime 5, either Medal, or Revenant. I mean, you can't make this up. It's a like perfect revenge for one of those 3 teams. And yeah, okay, well, this is one of those boss fights that you encounter in like RPG games and whatnot. But overall, as you're seeing the brackets, you can also see that in the lower brackets, we have Prime 5 against Medal Esports. And again, exactly, very, very soon, like right now in Indian Standard Time, it is 7:30 p.m. in 30 minutes. We'll be going live with that matchup right here at the Esports Club. If you're watching us on Loco, make sure you are following this channel. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you are subscribed. Turn the notification bell on so you don't miss the next match and all future matches that we have and all the broadcasts that we'll have. But yeah, for the time being, excellent best of 3 we had. Go down in the description one final time. Get yourself some Red Bull delivered to your doorstep. Scan the QR code that pops up here every so often. Get yourself some cutting-edge monitors from LG Ultragear. Intel provides you the best processors to boost up your system. Crucial gives you the best peripherals to speed up said system. And of course, if you want entertainment, make sure you go to Loco. If you're already watching us on Loco, this stream is going to be ending very, very soon. Watch some other games for the next 30 minutes and then tune back in. Till then, take care and bye-bye. We'll see you very shortly.
from the legends of memory and storage. Crucial brings you the ultimate performance in gaming. Legendary products. Precision engineered. For speed and stability. Crucial ballistics.
Maybe I'm losing my mind, but I know I'll never leave you behind. No, baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the route, yeah, baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the route, yeah, baby, I got you, I got you, I got you, I got you, baby, I got you, I got you, I got you. Ocean in between us, still I feel your heartbeat. There's something about you, baby, that makes me feel complete. Nobody's meant to be fighting alone. That's why I'm taking you home. I never felt something like this before, I know. Keep coming back for your time after time. Maybe I'm losing my mind, but I know I'll never leave you behind, no. Baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the route, yeah, baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be